down. They're doing it really well. Another first down. 6 points for Warwick. A pitch out there. Good run for the Hurricanes. MB's going in the air for a bomb. Catch. The Wolverines, the 10, 5, touchdown Woodside. Postseason football in Newport News. Beautiful drone shot of Todd Stadium in our 25th year of exclusive TV coverage. Tonight, it's postseason football with Grassfield from Chesapeake against Woodside from Newport News. Hi again, everybody. I'm Greg Bicaveras along with Nate Milton. Nate, very exciting Grassfield Woodside. This time it's one and done.
Oh, yes. You know, some people like the summertime, some people like the winter. My friend, I love the postseason. My favorite season. It's a brand new season, and we'll see which of these teams can come out and make a statement tonight.
Big opportunity for Danny Dotson.
Very big opportunity. Things like this don't happen that often. So Danny Dotson and these Wolverines have to come out and make something happen tonight at home for the people.
Let's go down to Hannah Pennant.
Earlier I got a chance to speak with Coach Dotson, and he told me that this is actually the first home playoff game since 2012. And the last home playoff game that they won was in 2010. So this is why this is such a significant game. Their defense has been preparing, watching tape, and looking out for number 15 on Grassfield. All we can do is say good luck to the Wolverines tonight. Back to you guys.
Nice job, Miss Hannah. And of course, Nate, we're looking forward to the game tonight. Postseason football will return after these messages. And welcome back here to Todd Stadium in Newport News, Nate. I guess playoff football just says it all.
Absolutely. This is what it's all about, Greg. Win or go home, or in the case of the Woodside Wolverines, win or stay home. And they've got a tough task on their hands with a very game Grassfield Grizzlies team.
What are the keys, first of all, for Grassfield?
I think for Grassfield, what they've got to do is come out and play their type of game. They've averaged over 30 points a game this season, and the key to that is the big weapon, 6'2", 180-pound wide receiver Grant Holloway, number 15, folks. You're going to see Holloway a lot tonight, and if Holloway can get behind the Woodside Wolverines defensive backs, it's going to be a long night for Danny Dotson.
And for Woodside.
Woodside, what they've got to do, they've got to come out and play tough. You know, we've talked all season long about them closing out games. And I think the last couple games of the season, they've begun to do that, Greg. They've begun to close games out. So we'll need to see more of that tonight, more of that toughness, going out there, not playing around, and closing out a very tough Grassfield team.
All right, it is Grassfield versus Woodside. Of course, we'll take a look at a lot of goodies throughout the game, like some stats and some graphics and officials, and of course the report card coming up as usual. Of course, our fifth game of the year for 2015, the first playoff game for the season, as we're just about to get underway here. Grassfield in the gray pants, kind of their colors are red, white, and blue, and a little bit of gray, and of course Woodside in the aqua, teal, black, and white, respectively, and they will be kicking off to the team from Chesapeake. A little different element in the air. It's postseason football. It's one and done.
One and done, and this is what it's all about. This is what you work so hard all season for. This is what you work so hard in the summertime for, Greg. Getting ready, lifting the weights, running the plays during training camp to get to this point. And like we said off the top, Woodside has a golden opportunity. Hosting a playoff game at home, they've got to take advantage tonight and come out tough against the Grassfield team.
And a swivel kick. Grassfield struggling to get their grip on it. And they will have the ball 1st and 10 going right to left in the white uniforms. When you talk about Grassfield, of course, head coach Marty Osprey They like the pro-style offense, 4-2-5 defense. Strength is tenacity, weakness is the youth.
Yeah, the youth is a big thing, and I think a lot of teams have been affected by that this season. But as you said, Greg, the postseason is a brand new season, and so those freshmen, they grow up quick. The sophomores, they grow up quick, and your juniors and seniors, they step up and make big plays. And we'll see if Coach Osprey's Grizzlies can come out tonight and make some noise on the road against a very solid Woodside squad.
All right, 12-minute quarters. Grassfield going right to left in the white uniforms. And the outlet pass is complete. And the quarterback, of course, number 10, Justice Bigby.
Justice making some plays happen right there. And the thing that you're going to see all night long, Greg, we mentioned off the top, Bigby to Holloway. That's what you got to watch out for. We talked to Danny Dotson before the game, and he's like, they've got to keep the ball out of Holloway's hands, but if he catches it, they've got to run and make some gang tackles. They've got to get 3, 4, 5 guys to bring Holloway down, because if he gets ahead of steam, he's going to be a problem.
No score early on. Greg Pickaberis, Nate Milton, glad you're with us on Cox Cable 47-517. NNPSTV.com. It is second down. Flags all over the place. So we'll see what happens there, respectively. Good run there, but we'll see what the officials say.
Yeah, a lot of laundry on the field. Looks like it's going to be a holding call against the Grizzlies, but we're seeing them being very aggressive early on. We saw the pass on the first play, and now they're just running that sweep play. Grassfield is coming out trying to set the tempo, set the tone in the game tonight.
There you see right there the referee, Bill Dozier, the white cap. We had his game recently, too, with Heritage as well.
Yep, and there you see making the call against the Grizzlies. And, again, always great to see our officiating crew out there doing a great job out here. And there you see right there.
Referee Bill Dozier. George Adamowski is the umpire. Head linesman Mick Hartsign. Line judge Ron Wyatt. Side judge John Deck. Field judge Jermaine Hall. Back judge Mike Mitchell. Grassfield, not much running room there. Of course, Woodside likes the wing T offense, the 4-4 defense. Strength is the offense. And closing the deal lately, they've been getting some really close wins to get them in the postseason. And, of course, weakness is the defense, still a work in progress.
Yeah, as we see a player down for the Grizzlies, I think what you're going to see, Greg, coming into the game, you got two teams that have been going in opposite directions. In Grassfield's last two games against Nansemond River and Oscar Smith, they lost, while Woodside won against Heritage and Kickingham to close the season. So we'll see if that momentum carries over tonight.
10:30 left in the first quarter. Of course, these two teams have met in the postseason before, way back in 2010. You see the records right there. Grassfield is 3-6 all time. Woodside is 3-8. Interesting story too about Grassfield as well. They've been a school only since 2007. Of course, Woodside's been a school since the fall of '96. So you're talking, they just started in '07.
Yeah, as much as we think of Woodside and Heritage as the baby teams in Newport News, the Grizzlies are literally a baby team. Not even a decade of existence.
9 years old.
9 years old, and Coach Osprey's been the head coach for all 9 of those seasons.
Yep, we did a radio program 4 years ago together. Incomplete. There you folks are seeing number 15, Grant Holloway, who Nate has alluded to, big-time receiver, and on the year has got 10 touchdowns. Oscar Smith, of course, you know, their big opponent like Heritage and Woodside, 13 straight postseasons you talked about. In fact, last year was the last time Woodside made the postseason, of course, and they lost to Oscar Smith 52-7, as I mentioned earlier throughout our broadcast. Grassfield last made the postseason 2 years ago.
And Oscar Smith, one of the perennial powerhouses around here. But I think Woodside's going to have a much more even game this year than they did last year against Oscar Smith.
So Woodside will get the ball here at 10:19. Not much time has elapsed so far, so a very good job right there of time control. It's going to be big for Woodside, too. What are they going to do on third down?
Third downs are very important. What's also important, Greg, keeping the momentum on your side. And as we saw in that game against Heritage the last time we were on the air, folks, they've got a great 1-2 combination with quarterback Tyer Tyler and, of course, the running back, Walker, I think that if they can keep things going, if they can keep that offense moving and keep Grassfield and Holloway off the field, that's go a long way towards them winning.
And there's their bread and butter man, just like Nate mentioned. Number 23, respectively, Tamir Walker. Of course, usually the run opens up everything. When you're on the road like Grassfield, you want to work on the run. Woodside's strength is the run.
And Woodside with that wing tee, there you see the score still. Nobody has cracked that score yet. But out of that wing tee, you can do so much, Greg, and we'll see what they go with on second down.
Smart play there by Dotson, just keeping it on the ground. Trying to get the kinks out early. You got to love high school postseason football, 6A South style. Of course, the old district for Grassfield was the Southeastern. Of course, for Woodside, Peninsula. And now you got teams randomly all over the place.
It's all willy-nilly.
3 Newport News teams made the postseason. Congratulations, of course, to Denby and Heritage. Woodside and I will talk about that. And that's the thing, too. 9 schools in the entire region have losing records.
Yeah.
That's, in the business world, that would not work.
No.
In college football, that would not work. And the NFL, actually, it has worked if you win the division with a losing record, as the pass is complete. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, we saw that last year with the NFL in the NFC South. And there you see Tyler doing a great job making the connections. He's got the weapons, like we said, like Jakari Lee and Tamir Walker. But getting back to your point, Greg, I think that you've got to be at least 500 to qualify for the playoffs. That should be the minimum because
there's no credibility in a losing record.
Yeah, it shouldn't be. And there's no disrespect to the teams that made it. They just did with the system that's in place. But you should have at least a 500 record to make the postseason.
Woodside right up the middle. And you see they're making Grassfield a little vulnerable early on.
Yeah, I think this is a smart play because not only are you establishing the run, are you making that move on your side of the ball, but you're keeping Holloway and that explosive Grassfield offense on the sidelines. It's kind of the way the New York Giants have beaten Tom Brady and the Patriots in 2 Super Bowls. They keep the offensive genius on the sidelines because he can't hurt you if he's on the bench.
And they keep pounding it. Of course, Woodside averaging 33 on offense per game, giving up 23 on defense. Grassfield, 30 per game on offense, giving up 21 on defense. That was good defense there by Grassfield. Here, once you get in the red zone, either you want them to stop them or at least hold them to a field goal.
And these are 2 teams that are no strangers to that end zone, Greg, no strangers to the red zone. The Grizzlies average 30 points a game, and the Wolverines average 33.5 points per game. So we're going to see that we have the potential here for an offensive fireworks show tonight. So we'll see if both teams can come out and make some plays on that offensive side of the football.
Grassfield lost to Oscar Smith recently, 28-13, while Woodside beat Kickotan barely to get in the postseason, 38-36. Outside run, looks like it could be 6.
Wow.
It is. Excellent run right there by number 2. Who else? Tyler,
TTT squared, doing a great job with the option, and Woodside strikes first. T-sizzle, if you will, Greg.
And you want them to do well in this postseason for Woodside if you're Woodside, because even if you win, you're not going to host again.
Right. They want to come out with a statement game tonight. A good win against a very good Grassfield team and leave these fans with something to get excited about for next week if they're able to advance.
And unless some teams ahead of them lose. You never know, though, in postseason football. The extra point is up.
Possible.
And it is good. So, with 7:35 left in quarter number 1, it is Woodside 7, Grassfield nothing. That's the advantage of playing at home. Grassfield is, of course, on the road.
Grassfield on the road, so you're in a hostile environment. But also, I love that opening series from Danny Dotson. We saw a couple runs with Walker, and then finally, right up the gut at the end of the last drive, we saw a nice option run by Tyler, the quarterback keeping it himself. And there you see the score: Woodside 7, Grassfield 0.
Grassfield, of course. Athletic Director Matt Purrier. For Woodside, Todd Price. Greg Bickaveris, Nate Milton, glad you're with us right here. 25th year of exclusive prep sports on NNPS TV and NNPSTV.com.
And folks, don't forget sports highlights on NNPSTV.com.
Just underway. Still the first quarter, plenty of time left, but you can feel the intensity that every time you get the ball, it counts. I mean, every single time, whether it's offense, defense, or special teams.
And I was talking to some friends before the game, like this might be one of those situations, Greg, where the last team with the ball is the team that wins the game because both of these teams can score points in a hurry.
And this is about life. How do you handle yourself in pressure situations?
How do you adapt? How do you respond when things get tough?
The water is boiling tonight.
Well, we got T-Sizzle out there, so it's going to be boiling.
Yep, and that's what's so important, have a good quarterback, a good running game. It opens up and gives everybody confidence.
And we'll see if the Grizzlies can respond. That's going to tell a lot this next series.
We'll see what Marty Osprey's team can do for Grassfield. Of course, they like the pro-style offense in the white uniforms. Past players have had Tyler Clark, Tony Patrick, and Justin Ray for Grassfield, some three key players. Short kick and excellent field position for Grassfield. Woodside, of course, had great players like Willie Bell, Aaron Evans, Stephon Welsh. You think that Aaron Evans is the best player in Woodside history?
I do. I think that, he was a running threat as well as a passing threat, probably the best all-around quarterback in Wolverine history, and he led them to, a pretty solid postseason run. Mm-hmm. So I think Danny Dotson, he's had a lot of different quarterbacks and running back combinations coming out of that wing tee, but to me, Aaron was probably head and shoulders the best quarterback he's had.
We'll see what their quarterback here does. Number 10, Justice Bigby, holding down court here at Todd Stadium.
The court is in session.
Of course, Grassfield likes the pro-style offense. Dotson counting with the 4-4 defense. Grizzlies on the run. Decent extra effort there, and that's what's going to take, that extra effort by number 23, respectively, Shawan Goodman.
Goodman doing a good job following those blocks and picking up some positive yardage. And it's interesting, now we're seeing Grassfield, the first drive, they were throwing a lot. Now we're seeing them slow the tempo down and play more of Woodside's game, and we'll see if this is successful for them.
No reason to rush. You don't need to panic. Just play your game.
Got plenty of time.
See how things evolve. Excellent run there by the Grizzlies. Goodman again.
Another run by Shawan Goodman. Goodman, a 5'9", 170-pound junior. Excellent job right there because Bigby just did a great job of selling like he was going to pass and then hit Goodman with the handoff. Goodman picks up a first down. I like what I'm seeing right now. Coach Osprey, he's kind of slowing things down. Said, hey, guys, we got plenty of time. Let's work our game. Let's work our offense, and we'll see if it's successful.
Grassfield, 3-6 all-time in the postseason, as we saw in the graphics. They've beaten Cox before, Lansdowne, and Tallwood. Woodside played this team back in 10 and beat them, Grassfield. Woodside, of course, has beaten Maury, Bayside, and Grassfield all together. Both these teams want to evolve in the postseason. That's the key.
And it's something we talked about.
It starts tonight.
The last game we did, Greg, with Heritage and Woodside, Danny Dotson and this Wolverine team, always the bridesmaid, never the bride. And I think that this is a perfect opportunity for Danny Dotson and that Woodside Wolverine team to take that next step.
Because you don't get that mmany opportunities at home to get a playoff game. That's what you play all season for, is postseason football. 5:57 left in the first quarter. Again, excellent run there by Grassfield. Who else? Number 23. Good and plenty. Shawan Goodman.
Goodman, just that first step. Goodman's doing a great job of popping off of that plant foot and making the first guy miss. And then after that, Greg, he's got about 5, 6, 7 yards of free space to roam. And so Woodside's got to do a better job. I know they're trying to stay back and defend against Holloway, but they've got to come up and play the run too.
But you can't play prevent defense either.
Exactly.
Of course, Woodside's known for their 4-4. 1st and 10 at the 41 of the Wolverines. Doing what they do best, just keeping the ground. Not much running room there, but a little extra effort.
How is he escaping these tackles, Greg? I know his name is Shawan Goodman, but we might as well start calling this man Houdini tonight because he's escaping those tackles.
And, of course, Roach from Woodside, his dad actually cut my grass once this summer. I was in a bind and saw Roach, the guy that was out there from Woodside. His dad actually cut my grass.
Wow.
So kudos to Mr. Roach.
Everybody knows Greg Vigaveras.
They want to cut my grass, that's fine. Gonna have a little fun. And there he is, the elite athlete of Grassfield right there, folks. The bread and butter man. Unbelievable talent.
Wow.
Number 15, Grant Holloway. If he's a Division I product, who is?
6'2", 190 pounds. Let's go ahead and call it an even 200, folks. And that was a great move by a big athlete.
Looking like Plaxico Burris out there.
And let's take another look at it, folks. You're going to see Holloway reverse field, Greg. They got him going one way. He comes back the other way.
Like a video game.
And good blocking right there to free him from the quarterback. And there you see Holloway almost takes it all the way to the end zone. Nice move right here, cutting back to the inside. Haven't seen a move that nice since Drake on the Hotline Bling video. Isn't that right, Muriel? And so Holloway with a great run right there.
Flags all over the place. How about the helmets? And of course, we saw a recent NFL game with the Bills, and congratulations to Tyrod Taylor. But the all-red,
the all-red versus the all-green.
It was hard to see it, but it looked like a Christmas tree. But these uniforms are nice.
I like both of these teams with the uniforms. And it's funny you mentioned that game with the Bills and the Jets. Like, people that were colorblind were complaining because they couldn't tell which team was which.
Hey, listen to us right here on NNPSTV.com. No Larry Zonka move there. Good defense there by Danny Dotson. And that's the thing. The big play can hurt you at any time. And, of course, it's more evident during postseason.
Yeah, and I got to give credit to Coach Osprey on that move because it would be very easy just to have Holloway split out. But he's like, okay, Grant, you're my best athlete. I got to find different ways to get you to football.
Right.
And, in the backfield is one of them. And we saw what Holloway can do if you give him some space.
3:50 left in the first quarter. Still 7-0 Woodside. We're at Todd Stadium in Newport News. We've done so many postseason games over the years, especially involving Heritage and Woodside. Denby a little bit as well.
Good
but
stuff.
not too much of Menchville and Ward.
Hey, I will say, Greg, congratulations to Menchville for winning their final game of the season.
Against Ward.
You never want to see the kids go 0-10.
Happy for Ray Savage. We had him on Sports Highlights recently.
They dumped the Gatorade on him and everything like they just won the Super Bowl.
Third down here for Grassfield. Big third down. We talked about how big third downs are. And the clock is just chewing up early tonight.
I got to give credit to Woodside on this drive, though, Greg. They gave up the big play to Holloway, but since they've been inside the 10, the defense has been pretty stout.
Woodside 3-8 all time in the postseason. Grassfield 3-6. Flags again all over the place. Of course, the players get a little nervous.
They get a little nervous. They get a little keyed up. And, of course, folks, don't forget the sports scene on 1650 a.m. each Wednesday from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. and on TuneIn.com. Type in WHKT in the search box to listen on your phone or on your computer.
And on Twitter at Greg Bick at Sports Highlight, HR Online Mall.com, N8 Mosaic, GJB TV, all on Twitter. Thanks for following.
And you are watching playoff football on Cox Cable Channel 47 in Newport News, Verizon Fios 17, and NNPSTV.com.
Hampton Road Spell Sports, NNPSTV.com.
Tell your friends about us, NNPSTV.com.
7-0, 2:50 left. Pretty much what we expected early on.
Yeah, I think both of these teams come in with the same record. Both of these teams, there you see the cheerleaders for the Wolverines
wrapped up a little bit tonight,
dressing appropriately for the weather, the temperature tonight. It is definitely fall, folks.
Don't forget to get the report card coming up in the fourth quarter. Crew list as well.
But about
atmosphere too.
Atmosphere, yeah. We got to
be a little bit more. You can be a little bit more stringent because of postseason.
Yes.
See the bands there. All right. Let's set it up. Got 3rd and 10 now. Nate and I talked about it. That penalty hurt. They're at the 10 as well. Grassfield going right to left in the white uniforms. And the pass complete for a touchdown. 6 points for Racy Lucas.
Lucas was off to the races, if you will.
He just jumped up and got that was pure athleticism.
Yeah,
there.
And there was nothing that the Woodside defender could do. We're going to take a look at this right here. You got one-on-one coverage to the outside, Greg, and quarterback Justice Bigby just throws it up, go get it, and right there.
And here's the problem. Number 30 for Woodside had his back turned the entire time. He had no idea. He was looking at the player, not the ball.
Yeah,
you have to keep an eye on the ball.
Justin Motley, you got to play the ball, not the man. And, he just got beat right there in the end zone.
7-all with 2:45 left. See, that's the thing. Woodside's so focused on the big fella Holloway that they got to keep an eye on the other weapons too. All right, it is 7-all. Postseason football from Todd Stadium with Woodside, of course, coming up. We'll be back after these messages.
67 yards in 9 plays, and it took the Grizzlies 4 minutes and 49 seconds.
Research shows that reading aloud is the single most important thing you can do to help a child prepare for reading and learning. More than 15% of young children, 3.1 million, are read to by family members fewer than 3 times a week. Only 48% of young children in this country are read to each day. Is 15 minutes enough to make a difference?
Yes.
All right, back right here to action here at Todd Stadium in Newport News. Still holding up pretty well for postseason football. Not quite as green as it was in September and October.
No, it is an AC score all knotted up at 7 here with Grassfield and Woodside, but it's still a great atmosphere. We'll talk about that grade a little bit later, but just in terms of the players out there on the field, I'm sure that field is just lovely to them right now. There's no place they'd rather be.
Yeah, temperature pretty good for in the 60s pretty much all day. And Woodside on the special teams goes nowhere. Big play here. How will Woodside respond after giving up 7?
That's the key. And, you and I were talking, Greg, that this is a situation where Woodside has to be careful because they can't allow Grassfield to get this momentum. And they got the momentum with that last score, and we'll see what Woodside does. And, of course, we've had over a dozen different sports, and they've been showcased by the staff over the years on NNPS TV.
7-all is the score. Woodside going left to right in the aqua black and white, little teal uniforms, respectively, with Danny Dotson's wing tee. Dotson, the head coach since 99. Bob Schmidt was the head coach of Woodside from 96 to 98. Only 2 coaches in 20 years for Woodside. Grassfield's only had 1 coach since 2007, respectively, Marty Osprey. We mentioned we did the Chesapeake highlights on the radio with him 4 years ago in the game, now the defunct game. Last time Woodside made the postseason, they lost to Grassfield's arch rival, we mentioned, 52-7 to Oscar Smith. Grassfield has not made it since 2 years ago. And both these teams love to run. That's what you're seeing right now. Number 4 right there, Dimitri Banks. No interest there, but he does have the credit.
That direct deposit.
Took you a while to like the direct deposit, as we alluded to the last game. Sports highlights archives on nnpstv.com. 7-all.
Danny Dotson, the dean of Newport News coaches. We're going to see how his team responds now.
And not much there either. Again, Banks, no credit union either.
He said the banks are closed on Fridays.
1:27 left in the first quarter. It's still 7-all. Here at Todd Stadium in Newport News, Greg Bickavaris, Nate Milton, our entire crew. What a great job they've done all season long. And kudos to Jonathan Hockman, their principal at Woodside. Mike Perez over at Grassfield. See a good close look there of the uniforms and the measuring sticks of the officials. Quite an honor to be in the postseason of any sport. And you work hard all along from January, the first quarter, the second, third, and fourth quarter with nutrition, weight, college recruiting, academics, athletics, and activities. This is a big credit to all these kids for making the postseason.
And you mentioned that weightlifting, that extra weight that Banks was pumping during the offseason allowed him to pick up just enough to get a new set of downs. And we'll see what Tyre Tyler and this Wolverine offense can do with it.
1st and 10. And Grassfield buttoning up there. What happens? Looks like the play was down. Again, good job for keeping under control. Referee Bill Dozier. Always good to see Southside versus Peninsula competition as well.
It's very rare. It's like we don't get it often, but I love it when it happens, because not only do you have two teams that haven't faced each other a lot,
just once,
but you've got that rivalry between the Peninsula and the Southside, and it always brings a little extra pizzazz, a little extra juice, a little extra sizzle to the proceedings when we have that matchup.
There's the pass, a bomb. Complete. Oh, good. Oh, good. The bomb was complete in the Newport News air.
Wow.
Jakari Lee.
Jakari Lee, 6'2", 175 pounds. Let's take a look, because I think Jakari Lee is like, I got all the respect in the world for Grant Holloway, but he's not the only playmaker out here, folks. Here we see Tyre Tyler, TTT Sizzle, throwing it up to the big man. Can you get it? The football is like a cold to Jakari Lee. Jakari Lee's the only one catching it. He's the only one coming down with it, folks.
He climbed up the tree and got that one. Great job. Proactive offense by Dotson. And the extra point is up, and it's good. So
wondered how Woodside would respond, Greg, and Danny Dotson showing that aggressiveness, showing that proactive tendency that you always talk about.
Because football is like a pendulum. It goes up and down as a swing. You're up now, then you blink, you're tied up. Well, anyway, right now, Woodside will take it. They got a 7-point lead, 14-7 respectively, with 18 seconds left in the first quarter. Nate, scoring recap.
All right, it's been a very eventful first quarter. We saw an option run by Tyre Tyler to start the scoring off, 7-0 Woodside at that point. Then we saw a touchdown pass from Bigby to Racy Lucas, scored it up for Grassfield 7-7. And just then, folks, we saw that long TD pass, that long distance connection. Call AT&T, call Sprint and T-Mobile. Touchdown pass from Tyre Tyler to Jakari Lee, and now the Woodside Wolverines back on top of the Grassfield Grizzlies. And this is going to be this kind of game, Greg. I think it's going to go back and forth. We're going to have a slugfest, and maybe the last team with the ball is the team that's going to win.
Who's going to be the next playmaker?
Who is going to step up? That's what we're going to see.
See the mascots enjoying themselves?
And you see the Grizzly and the Wolverine. Who will win?
What are you more excited about, Thanksgiving, Christmas, or the Star Wars movie?
Oh, so many. I love to eat at Thanksgiving. I love spending time with the family at Christmas. But that Star Wars movie, that's going to be great.
Here's the kick. Another short kick. Goes out of bounds. Don't know quite the logic there. You give them good field position. The last thing you want to do is, with flags all over the place, is give a team like this. You see the bear right there, Wolverine, enjoying himself.
I think what Dotson's trying to do, Greg, and it's a calculated risk, because Osprey's made a smart move by putting Holloway back as a kick returner. And so Dotson's like, I don't want to give that man another chance with the ball, so we'll take the loss in field position. We'll see if it comes back to bite him, though.
But, give a short field. That's not good either.
That's the question.
(14-7) Woodside. We're in Todd Stadium in Newport News, Virginia. Glad you're with us for exclusive coverage of 6A South postseason football action. Woodside from Newport News, Grassfield from Chesapeake. Woodside will kick it again. Again, short kick. Not much running room there for Grassfield across the 30. Holloway. He's just like in basketball, you want the main player like a Kobe or a LeBron to have the ball. He's like that in football.
He is. He's much like Steph Curry and the Warriors with the dominance that they're showing right now. He's that kind of game-changing player. He's got that type of ability. He's got that type of talent. So anytime he touches the ball, he reminds me of Deion Sanders. When Deion used to play for the Falcons,
right.
They had Deion on punt returns. Sometimes they'd have Deion on offense because you knew if you got the ball to him, he could make something happen.
He reminds me of a young Plaxico Burress. And the screen pass is incomplete. with 6 seconds left.
Almost picked up by the Wolverines.
Danger, you got to make the catch. You've always said if it's in your hands, you got to make it.
Yeah, and that goes not only for offense but for defense as well, because that would have been a big play if Woodside was able to intercept that.
You can't just rely on the offense to make all the big plays. You got to step up in defense in the postseason.
And then we got a man down for the Wolverines. A bit shaken up on that play.
Looks like number 30, respectively, Justin Motley for the Wolverines.
Now it's going to be 5-8 South score.
Motley, a junior defensive back.
Still in the first quarter, and now leading the Maury Commodores 12-0. Salem Sun Devils and the Kingston Warriors are scoreless right now in the first quarter. Indian River Braves are leading the Buffalo.
Of course, long season and fatigue and injuries are going to play a part.
They are, and there you see Coach Dotson checking on his player right there. I can't say enough about the job Danny Dotson has done with this Woodside program, Greg. Taking the baton, taking the torch from Coach Schmidt, and just really turning this into a program that, they haven't won a state championship like Heritage, but year in and year out, they've been a good team.
All the games we've done this year, Menchfield Heritage, Warwick Woodside, Denby Warwick, Heritage Woodside, Grassfield Woodside. We've seen Woodside play 3 times this year. And, of course, they made the postseason. They host. More power to them. Mascot enjoying themselves. There's Hannah.
Hannah and the Wolverines.
Who's smiling more is what I want to know.
The Wolverines got a pretty big smile.
I'll give it to Hannah.
I wonder who, we're seeing the football game, but I wonder who would win in the wild between the Wolverine and the Grizzly Bear.
Flags all over the place again. A little anxious these kids are getting. They realize their whole season's on the line tonight, and that doesn't happen that often. We're not used to seeing it in Newport News that often. It's still very new for any Newport News team to be in the postseason.
I mean, we really have not had, Woodside had some success, Heritage has had some success.
On and off.
Other than that state championship in 2000, we really have not seen that sustained excellence.
It's a real treat for us to even do a postseason game.
I think this is a very, very important game right here, very important series.
And that'll end the first quarter, folks. With the score, Woodside will take it, lock it in. Locked in for the first quarter. It is the Wolverines 14, Grassfield from Chesapeake 7. Stay tuned for postseason football. Will continue after these messages.
The Telecommunications Center is an award-winning television production facility for high school students in the Newport News Public Schools. Students can learn studio, remote production, audio operation, editing, directing, and much more. Students can also earn college credit through dual enrollment. The center has graduates working for MTV, ESPN, CNN, Entertainment Tonight, and Tyler Perry Studios. If you want to jumpstart your career in broadcasting, contact your guidance counselor or call 591-4687.
All right, folks, we are back. And others may try to duplicate, but the public counts on NNPS TV for the best in sports television. 14-7 is your score, and we got some great action tonight, Greg.
It is back and forth. There's the band right there enjoying themselves. And, of course, all the Newport News kids look up to Woodside from elementary, middle school, and high school. How to get to postseason, sustain. That's the key. Dotson has sustained.
That's the thing I love about what Danny Dotson's done with this school is its consistency.
Right. Third down right now for Grassfield, going left to right in the white uniforms. And there's the outside run by number 5, respectively, Shondell Joyner Jr.
Shondell Joyner getting to the outside, picking up some yardage. And we're going to see this is a very important drive right now, very important offensive series for the Grassfield Grizzlies because, as we've seen, Greg, Woodside is not playing around. We saw the run earlier and then the long bomb in the first quarter for that score. So I think Woodside has came out and made a statement. Can Grassfield respond? That's the question.
The number 1 channel Newport News and Greater Hampton Roads is NNPS TV. It is now 14-7 Woodside in the second quarter. It's a money quarter. You don't want to just wait till the second half. Referees have been busy. again, we mentioned on the outset that 9 teams made the postseason with losing records. 1 made it with a 2-8 record,
which is, to put that in
that's
perspective,
one better than Menchville.
I was going to say, to put that in perspective, folks, that's 1 more win than Menchville has. And Menchville, I'm glad they won that last game of the season, but Menchville shouldn't be anywhere near a playoffs position.
Nor should a 2-win team.
Yeah, neither should
or a 4-win team.
You should at least be 500. That should be the cutoff, in my opinion. Much like college, you have to have at least 6 wins to be bowl eligible.
Here's the thing: you go 4-6 and you get killed in the first round. What does it mean?
Right.
You went 4-7.
I don't think there's anything that you gain from that game.
Totally agree.
Now, this game, on the other hand, we have 2 legitimate teams.
This is the best game in Hampton Roads tonight, bar none. Exclusively on NNPS TV. And there's a nice punt with an excellent roll. And it's still rolling.
Wow.
Past the 10. Where Woodside will have it. This will be a big offensive series. How will they respond to, that little indulgence of scoring, and how will Grassfield respond? Grassfield needs a big play on defense.
Right. That was a good defensive stand by the Wolverines against Grassfield, but that was a nice punt, though, by the Grizzlies, by Mark Ridenour, pinning the Wolverines back inside their own 20. Now we're going to see, you have to be aggressive at this point if you're Woodside, but you also don't want to make any mistakes. You don't want to commit any turnovers, because that's almost giving Grassfield a guaranteed score right there.
You always say let the best team win. And we'll see. Just the early part of the second quarter. Not much running room there for the Wolverines. And you don't want to get sloppy. You don't want to get complacent as well, especially deep in your own territory there for the Wolverines and Danny Dotson, who lead 14-7 with 11:20 left in quarter number 2. That's one of the assistant coaches right there for Grassfield, respectively. Marty Osprey, the head coach since 07. Off to the races. No complacency there. Who else? Number 23. Looking like Archie Griffin again. Tamir Walker.
Nice job by Walker. I thought Grassfield was going to get him before he hit that corner, Greg, but once he did, it was all Tamir Walker.
Marty Osprey, of course, head coach since 07. Take a look at it again, Nate.
Again, running out of that wing T, Greg, you're going to see Grassfield has a chance to get him, but they don't bring him down, and as soon as he gets to the corner, he is gone. Nice job by Tamir Walker.
We got it right. We got it right, folks. Nate and I have camera eyes up here in the booth.
Hey, you don't do this as long as we've been doing it without picking up some skills.
Rule number 1, Nate and I are the best. Look at rule number 2. Look at rule number 1.
There you go.
10:35 left to intermission. There's the fans right there saying, what's going on here? Well, your team is leading it by 7.
That was a big run by Walker.
And that's all part of the atmosphere. You want to see them get a little bit more charged up, because the fans do play a big part of the game.
They do.
Yep. No. (14-7) respectively.
Another solid run by the Wolverines, doing a great job picking up yardage. That first run by Walker was great because it got him out of the shadow of their own end zone. Now you can open up the playbook a little bit more. You can run some more play action. You can maybe pass the ball a little bit. So Danny Dotson's got some more room to play with now.
You look at back in 07, they went 0-10. Grassfield, screen pass complete at the 40. Good defense there by the Grizzlies. And that catch was by number 3. Assistant coach again there for Grassfield. How important it is for Jakari Lee to step up tonight. He can't just rely on Walker.
Yeah, Lee stepped up with the touchdown, but right there, I don't think Tyler did him any favors throwing that screen pass because Grassfield sniffed that out. They were ready. They were waiting for him to pick it up, and as soon as he caught it, he had 4 guys right around him wearing white jerseys. So they got to do a better job of setting up the receivers and a chance to succeed.
4th down, punting situation for the special teams of the Wolverines. And they fake it, but it doesn't work. Does not work. And this is not the time you want to experiment against a team like Grassfield. You give them an edge, they're going to take a mile.
Yeah, and here's the thing, Greg. I don't really have a problem with the fake. My problem is with the execution because it looked like they were hesitant. If you're going to do a fake, you got to go in there and be confident about it. You got to hit them with that element of surprise. But it looked like he bobbled the snap a little bit, and they weren't ready. Like they faked themselves out almost.
I mean, this team usually plays Oscar Smith, who's been on national TV so many times. Oscar Smith, 13 straight postseasons. Bill Lyons used to coach Oscar Smith, former war coach as well, back in the day. Right there in the Great Bridge section of Chesapeake, you see the fans right there and the cheerleaders, respectively. It is 14-7 as well. In our 25th year of high school football coverage, great job by our crew. And people always ask me, how come you see the visiting team's graphic on top of the home team? Because you always like baseball. The visiting team always gets the courtesy. Now, they might not get the courtesy from the fans,
right,
but they get it from the TV crew.
They might not get the courtesy from the fans or from the home team, but yeah, that is the reason.
Are you surprised how quiet it is tonight?
And I would think from this Woodside crowd, there you see the Grassfield side of the field. They've got their little contingent with the band and some fans out there. But for Heritage, you would think this was not expected. They weren't guaranteed to host a home game, so you would think that they would have a little bit more enthusiasm, a little bit more excitement, a little bit more pizzazz, and put it behind their Wolverines tonight. But, for the most part, Greg, they've been a little quiet, a little subdued.
We'll see if Grassfield can capitalize. And they do, and the nice catch there. I really like the composure of the quarterback, Justice Bigby, for Grassfield.
Yeah, Bigby looks like he's like you said, he's been in there against teams like Oscar Smith, against teams like Nansemond River. So he's faced some tough competition over on that other side of the water. So he's not going to be intimidated. He's not going to be frazzled. The key for Woodside, though, is they've got to put more pressure on him because Bigby has got those big offensive linemen in front of him. He hadn't really been pressured tonight. If Woodside can get a good pass rush, we might see him start to make some mistakes.
There's the bread and butter man, still on his feet.
Wow.
Still on his feet. Number 15, Grant Holloway, as we are 7:59 and counting to intermission, 14-7.
Nice.
And of course, in college football, you see Clemson doing well. Of course, NFL, it's the Patriots keep getting richer.
Patriots keep getting richer, but I'm telling you, Greg, a team to look out for is Carolina and what Cam Newton and those Panthers are doing because I think they're a sleeper team out there. But
happy for them.
Yes.
Mid-Atlantic team, too, not just the Redskins.
No, I think like there's a lot of Panthers fans up here in Newport News on the peninsula. I think that they've got a chance. My sister loves the Panthers. So.
Yeah. Hey, they're great. Redskins and Ravens both have losing records. Panthers are winning.
Yep. So shout out to my sister and my nieces watching on nnpstv.com down in Carolina. But yeah, you're right, Greg. It's whenever you get to that level, whether it's the Patriots or the Panthers or Peyton Manning and the Broncos, it's the little things that matter. It's defense, it's offense, special teams, and the same thing applies to high school. The teams that make the fewest mistakes are usually the teams that are the best coached and the teams that win.
And you want to keep the consistent routine that got you here. So important is the habits of these coaches and the assistant coaches. Everybody's got to be on the same page. If one person's off, it affects the entire 48 minutes of the game.
Right. We all might be in the same book, but we got to be on the same page. I can't be at the start. You can't be reading the end of the book. Muriel can't be up here in the booth reading the middle part of the book. We all got to be on the same page. And that's a brave young man out here. It's a little too chilly for that, sir.
Don't forget, we got our atmosphere coming up in the fourth quarter. Nate's report card as well. Crew list, too. We're in the second quarter. 14-7 Woodside. Grassfield's got the ball. They're going for it on 4th and 1.
And that shows you how important this possession is.
Every series counts. Flags all over the place. Hold on. Flags all over the place. Looks like he got it, but we'll see what the officials say. You don't want the officials to supersede anything.
I didn't see, Greg, I didn't think they were going to snap it. I thought they were going to try to draw Woodside offsides, but it looks like they may have succeeded with that anyway. So good gutsy call right there by Coach Osprey.
We'll see what Bill Dozier says.
Oh,
Ooh,
wow.
On Grassfield.
Illegal formation on the Grizzlies.
We call it like we see it.
It's an illegal formation against the
That's a big mental error, mental mistake. Like we said, Greg, you can't make those type of mistakes and in the postseason, and we see one right
That's
there.
the difference from first down and possibly having to punt.
There you go. That's a big mistake right there from a coach that doesn't make a lot of mistakes.
What do we got coming up at halftime?
Oh, Greg, at halftime we have the Woodside band, and I think that maybe they'll get some more life out here for the people. Get the atmosphere going, Greg. You know, get some good soul music going for these people out here.
And Nate and I will talk about tailgating tips. It's complete.
Wow.
What a catch. That is a Division I level receiver right there, folks. You're not going to see him that often, especially on the peninsula.
He is a great safety valve.
Oh, my goodness. He's got like super glue on his hands.
Holloway makes up for a lot of mistakes. Not only is he big and strong, but as Coach Dotson told us before the game, we're going to see this on replay, he might be one of the fastest players they played against all season.
And he got hit hard too, right there. That was a helmet to helmet.
Helmet to helmet, and he was going down. He was on the way down. Great catch by Grant Holloway.
Screen pass, incomplete. That's the thing.
Wow.
You ran before you caught it. You heard footsteps. But here's the thing. People don't talk about this at all in college and NFL. How about fourth down conversions? We're always hearing about third down conversions. In the postseason, you're going to make fourth down conversions. Grassfield just did. Takes the pressure off the team.
That was a gutsy call, especially coming off of the penalty. There you see 14-7, the Wolverines over the Grizzlies. But you got to give credit to Coach Osprey on that one, folks. And, of course, this is our 25th year of exclusive prep sports on NNPS and NNPSTV.com, and we're glad to bring it to you.
It is. 6:24 left in the second quarter. 2nd and 10 for Grassfield, going left to right in the white uniforms. They keep it on the ground. And they're still going and going. The extra effort is the difference in postseason football.
Well, I mentioned, Greg, those big offensive linemen for Grassfield. That might be, other than Holloway, that might be their biggest asset on offense is those big offensive linemen that open up the hole.
And look at the casual sweats. It almost looks like they're wearing sweats out there. They're comfortable. You have to be comfortable playing.
They are, and being on the road has not bothered them not whatsoever thus far.
It's tough to win on the road. Very difficult to win on the road when you're not used to playing here. Woodside plays all their home games here and some of their away games here.
Yeah, Todd Stadium is a definite home field advantage for the Newport News schools if they are fortunate enough to host a playoff game like they are tonight.
3rd and 1 from the 20.
Another big
flags all
down.
over the place again. Greg Bickaveris, Nate Milton, our entire crew, glad you're with us. Cox Cable 47517, NNPSTV.com. Tell your friends. Of course, Greg Bick on Twitter and N8 Mosaic.
There you go. Give us a follow, folks. Let us know you're watching this game tonight. Nate
and I always tweet out the YouTube game as well, which is this. So many people are seeing the content is unbelievable. You see it on TV, on Cox Cable, on Verizon, and of course the webcast at the same time it's on TV. Then we can tweet it on YouTube. Or if you don't have to even tweet it on YouTube, just go to YouTube and find it. Oh, and good defense. Statement tackle.
Wow.
You see right there, number 10. Bigby
brought
goes nowhere.
Down.
He goes in reverse.
Bigby brought down. Great job by the Woodside Wolverines.
Big play of the game here.
Let's take a look. Bigby drops back trying to see what he can do.
And was no protection at all.
Great pursuit.
It's almost like he was an island when Jaws came after him.
Able to bring him down. And that looked like number 8, Kamari Jackson. KJ with a great big-time play. And like we say, Greg, when big-time players step up in big-time moments, and that was a huge third down play for the Woodside Wolverines, and the defense stepped up and made a play.
Sometimes you just want to punt it away.
So we go from 3rd and about 5 to 4th and 21. That is a huge play.
But guess what, folks? Looks like they're going for it.
No way.
Why? Still plenty of football left.
Coach Osprey said, because I got the best player on the field, that's why.
Yeah. He's a big-time talent. Again, it reminds me a lot of Plaxico Burress. We saw him 20 years ago, and he played for in Virginia Beach. Of course, he went to Michigan State.
Yep.
Most talented receiver I've ever seen from this area was Plaxico Burris. Let's play for the Giants.
Won a Super Bowl with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yep. And slippery when wet. Flag. My goodness, those flags were being thrown like they don't like the dinner. Just throwing the flags all over the place like we had pork and beans. I don't like it.
I was say, is it Flag Day? Did I miss a day on my calendar, Greg? We got a lot of laundry out there. Is it Laundry Day? Can I borrow some quarters?
In my case, borrow some dollars.
Man,
424. It's Woodside 14-7. What is up with the laundry on the field? We had a graphic for that last year, remember?
Yes. Well,
laundry on the field.
One of those games, I think we had about 57 penalties. Oh, wow.
Oh, again, bad break there for the Wolverines.
It's still first down, but they're going to take some steps back.
You can't let your guard down at all. I mean, you get a big play on defense, but look where you're at now on offense.
And I know, they're just trying to block for their player, but, you got to realize where you are, and you can't afford to make mistakes like that because now you're backed up again under the shadow of your own goalpost. And if you make a mistake, you don't have a lot of room for error.
Right, and, of course, good defensive pressure will be the key here for Grassfield.
We'll see if those Grizzly Bears can make a big statement here, make a big stand on defense.
They're going for some honey.
So they can pull a Yogi Bear here and get in the picnic basket.
Nate is hilarious, folks. You got to love the entertainment. It's like you don't want to see them in the campground.
I'm telling you what, I've been camping a few times, Greg, but if I've never seen a bear. If I saw a bear, that would be the end of that camping trip. No bears.
So you wouldn't see the Chicago Bears either.
All right, I don't want to see a grizzly bear. I don't want to see a polar bear. I don't want to see Walter Payton. I don't want to see Refrigerator Perry. No bears whatsoever. Mike Ditka.
Bears are scary. You're not kidding. 3:45 left till intermission. Woodside just keeping it on the ground. Smart. You don't want to try any trick plays right now. You're up by 7. If you can milk the clock, get into the locker room with a 7-point lead.
Right. Coach Dotson's playing 2 games here. One is the game on the scoreboard. The second is that ball control game, the game in that offense. 14-7 to score. You've got the advantage. You don't want to be risky. You want to be proactive, like we said, Greg, but you don't want to be reckless. You don't want to be risky. You don't want to make mistakes. And so I think I like what Danny Dotson's doing with this attack right now to the wing T, running the ball, being patient with the offense.
This is where the wing T works really good. But no, Nate, they're going to run it on the quarterback sneak there. Good extra effort going out of bounds.
Flag.
And it was a flag right there. And the quarterback stinging a little bit from that play.
Yeah.
But still resilient enough to get back on his feet.
Yeah, we are up here in the booth, Greg, and to me that was an obvious late hit on that.
Tyler reminds you a lot of a young Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah, he does. And Tyler, we're going to see right here. You and I were questioning him going back for the pass, but he, instead of throwing it, he tucks it, runs it. Does a good job right there, juking for that extra bit of yardage. And right there, he's 4 or 5 steps out of bounds. And
a lot of times you see these quarterbacks at any level, they'll throw a bad play or an interception. If you've got an opportunity to run it, or just throw it out of bounds.
And I think, Greg, we've had a chance to see Tyler a couple times this season, and all 3 times. And I think every game he's grown a little bit. And so, we're seeing that again tonight. I think that he's a kid that has leadership potential, very reminiscent of that Tyrod Taylor, and we'll see if he can continue leading this team to a win.
Walker slips again, another flag on the place. Laundry on the field. Unbelievable. Again, Grassfield 3-6 all time in the postseason. Woodside 3-8.
And we need to get Walker some no-slip shoes. I work food service sometimes.
It's really not that wet out there tonight. A little
we got to get him
in the air.
Some slip-resistant shoes, maybe some grips, maybe some golf spikes, something so he can stay on his feet. Because if he can stay on his feet, we've seen what Walker can do. He can break a great run.
See Dotson right there, head coach since '99.
Still wearing shorts.
Former assistant under Tommy Riemann. Of course, learned a lot at William & Mary as well.
First down and 20 for the Wolverines.
He had some roots as well on the south side too.
I love Danny. Great coach, great man.
Tell you so like it is.
But we going to have to get Danny some long pants out here for these cold nights.
Give him some hardball khakis.
There you
nice
go.
spiral pass. Exactly what Nate was talking about.
Wow.
And a manhandle defense, but nice catch there by number 43, respectively, Nate. Dominique Sumter acting like spring, summer, winter, and fall.
Telling you, Sumter with a great run. The only thing that stopped him was number 15, Grant Holloway, who put a good stick on him to bring him down. Let's see here on the replay, Greg. Great connection from Tyler to Sumter. Sumter, a 6 foot, 200-pound junior tight end right there, wide open. And here you're going to see, does a great job for a big man of just running through, and then at the end, here comes number 15, Holloway, picks him up, says, that's all you're going to get, but a great run and a great pass by the Wolverines.
Of course, their big issue now is the clock. Do you want to try to score? What do you want to do? A 7-point lead at halftime is not a big lead, but still, you've got the lead. You want to sustain that lead.
I think Dotson wants to score, but he wants to score taking up as much time as he can.
Right. If it happens, good. If it doesn't, don't worry about it.
He doesn't want to give, Holloway.
Say forget about it.
He say forget about it. Hey, what do you want me to do?
You only got 1:45 left till halftime.
I could see Danny Dotson playing a cop in like one of those Goodfellas movies. Officer Dodson.
It's almost he has that look like he knows more than he's going to tell you.
Right. He might be
all these coaches
undercover.
never tell you enough.
You don't know whose side he's on.
We got a big interview coming up in January, folks, of the head basketball coach at Wayne Mary. Stay tuned for that on Sports Highlights. For more, log on to nnpstv.com. Of course, basketball season going on too. NBA, college basketball, and of course football. Clemson right now rolling. Ohio State steady. But you've seen some teams lose, like Alabama and LSU.
And it's interesting, Greg. We're as we're moving closer to the end of the college football season.
It's all about that Final Four now.
It's all about the Final Four, but most important, Greg, sometimes it's not about how you lose, but when you lose. Because a team like Alabama that loses early, I think they don't get hurt as much as a team that loses towards the end of the season.
It's still not better than the NFL, because the NFL you really know who the champion is. College, it's random, really.
Right.
And you're picking 4 teams. But it's always like questions at 15.
There's always a 15 that you know.
While the NFL, you got pretty much over a dozen.
Yep.
That are capable of doing it. Then of course you have one champion.
With the NFL, there's no argument over whether a team should have got left out or not.
The wild card teams might be, even they earn it.
You earned it on the field.
And Dotson just milking the clock on the run. Smart call. You don't want to have any turnovers. You see Tyler right there, number 2, respectively, in the black, aqua, and white uniforms, kind of like teal color.
Yeah, I think this is a smart idea out of that wing tee. Just continue running the ball, trying to pick up yardage, and maybe then go over
that's
the top
a penalty
Jakari
that you don't want. A penalty mistake. A mental penalty right there, and that's what you don't want. Injured player. You have too much luxury, and then what happens is you have too much, and then you forget that, look, you're going to go to halftime with the lead, have a turnover, a penalty, or anything that can affect you.
That's one thing you got to do is secure the ball.
I call it a mental penalty. Mental penalty is when you hurt yourself.
Yep. You got to secure that ball. That's the most important thing at this time. If you're Woodside, you got to wrap it up. There we see Grassfield Grizzly player on the field being attended to.
We'll see if we can get his number here in a second. You don't want to push him if he's hurt, though. That's the thing you don't want to do.
It looked like in that scramble for the ball that they thought might have been loose, you never know when people are flying in from all directions.
Right. And you got 1:15 left. Woodside's up by 7, but still plenty of football left. Another 24 minutes in the second half, respectively. Greg Bickaveris, Nate Milton, we played a little over an hour, but a delay here because of an injured player. And so you talk about some of the great things, a little lighthearted stuff, some of the tailgating foods you've liked. I've always been a hamburger, hot dog, chicken, barbecue, seafood type guy, steaks as well. Nothing like steaks on the grill watching football.
Those are the classics. I'll tell you what, though, I love barbecue. I love barbecue when I'm tailgating.
Little coleslaw?
Coleslaw. Brats. To me, you can't go wrong with brats.
And looks like if that girl can take her hand off the kid, it looks like a break here coming up at 14-7, respectively. We hope he gets better, and we'll be back with postseason football after these messages.
your fitness with Alexis. Tune in weekdays 6:30 a.m., Mondays 7:30 a.m., 2:30 p.m., and 7:30 p.m.
Ultimate Frisbee is a team sport in which players seek to score points by passing a Frisbee to a teammate over the opposing team's goal line. Ultimate Frisbee is a fun, intense, fast-paced sport that is being widely recognized across the United States. For more information, contact your local recreation center.
All right, back here at Todd Stadium in Newport News. Truly a pleasure and honor to bring to you postseason football. Of course, Greg Bickavaris, Nate Milton, glad you're with us for our 5th game of 2015, our 25th year. It all started back, as you see the ambulance right there, back in 91 when we did Warwick and Kickingham, our first game we did on our airwaves. And, of course, there is the city of Newport News' finest ambulance crew. And I'll tell you one thing. In all the years I've been doing football games, you rarely see an ambulance on the field. We have to call like we see it because the public sees it on TV. And it just shows to you again, folks, how violent this sport is. And you don't know what the injury is until the doctors see it and the proper medical authorities see it. That's why they're medical authorities, and we hope and pray this kid is okay. That's more important than any outcome of any sporting event as well.
Yeah, you're right, Greg.
And the good thing is he's up. He's not moving that well, but at least he's up now a little bit more than he was before.
Yeah, we all love football, but like you said, Greg, there is a human element to this game that people shouldn't forget, whether you're talking high school, college, or the NFL. This is a very physical game. You know, it's not just tackles. You know, the old cliche that a football game is like you're getting into a bunch of car crashes over and over and over again because of the velocity and the speed of the collisions out there.
Imagine running to, I would tell people, to a brick wall blindfolded.
Right.
That's not fun.
And then get up again and do it 20 more times.
Right.
And so, you know, these kids out there putting their body on the line for the love of the game and for their school pride.
And I've said it, always have an ambulance on standby. And luckily, right where we're located at Todd Stadium, the fire department's right by the TV station. So we're really blessed to have them here taking a look at this kid. He's on his feet, which is good. But you have to be proactive and take precautions like the medical staff is doing right now. And kudos to the Todd Stadium staff and everybody else, because it does take an effort to do this.
Extra point of the night. They now lead the Vikings 19-0.
It looks like,
and of course, this might work in Grassfield's favor for giving them an edge, depending on how injured he is.
And again, that's what I'm saying. You know, again, not to sound callous, but for the Woodside Wolverines, they've got to remain focused on football. You know, I understand as a human being, you want the best for that kid over there, but as a Woodside Wolverine football player, you got to stay focused. You got to keep your composure. You got to come out here and play just as hard as you were playing 5-10 minutes ago before we had this stop and play.
You know, you got to have insurance and medical coverage too, and it tells you more. This tells you more about life than actually sports. You know, it just shows you how fragile it is, like an accident happening, and you just really hope and pray this kid is okay. That's more important. As you see the ambulance crew there as well, because it is, you know, a violent sport. One of the reasons I played tennis as a kid.
I played football in high school for 1 year at Mitchfield, and then I played at Dean College. But I knew even back then it wasn't for me. I loved the sport of football.
You're a better communicator.
Yeah, I'm a better communicator than I am a tackler or a runner. But I love the sport of football. But for everybody out there, there is a toll that it takes when you're out there.
And not to mention dehydration. Of course, hypothermia can cause it. When you're idle like that, you've been sweating. That's another whole negative drama there as well. So really hope these ambulance crew takes care of this fine kid from Chesapeake.
And the class act by the crowd from both on the Woodside side and the Grassfield side, giving that kid a round of applause, showing some support as he's going off the field.
He seems like he's in pretty good spirits, thank goodness. Of course, you're seeing reality in life, and what we're saying is life and reality intertwined with collegiate, high school, professional athletics, as you see it on TV all the time. And this time in prep sports, in a playoff game, doesn't matter.
You know, so many people have reality shows, Greg. To me, I've always said sports is the ultimate reality show, and we're back to the action.
Anxious right there, flags all over the place. The referees have to call it like they see it. And after being idle, you're going to get anxious again. Nate Milton, again, 14-7, with 1 minute left till halftime. Thank goodness for both teams. They need a break.
I tell you what.
Tyler, nowhere, no dice. Again, why do you want to experiment with less than a minute left? You got the lead. Go to the halftime with a 7-point lead and take it. Wash your hands.
Yeah, I think that Dotson wanted to try something coming out of that extended break, but both teams I think aren't. They're not there mentally now after being down and waiting for about 10 minutes, 15 minutes.
Like the movie Frozen.
Not to mention the ambulance is still on the sideline,
right,
folks.
So it's moved.
It's hard to keep focus at a time like this, and we're going to see if Woodside can pull something off.
And we said it, milk the clock. Guess what? Grassfield's got the ball with 53 seconds left.
And arguably the best player on the field on their offensive side of the ball.
And they got extra motivation to play for, going left to right in the white uniforms. And the throw is complete. Out of bounds right there to number 20, respectively. Joey Manning, not Peyton, but Joey Manning.
Joey Manning. He may not be as rich as Peyton, but he's a lot younger than Peyton Manning, doing a good job with that reception.
Don't forget Eli.
Or Eli.
Again, that's why I question, why don't you milk the clock with a 7-point lead? Now you got 47 seconds, and the most dangerous athlete from the south side still got an opportunity to get this team back in the end zone. And Grant Holloway, number 15 for Grassfield.
If Grassfield can score here, Greg, that is a big mental edge for them going into the half.
You took the words right out of my mouth, my friend. We're like bread and butter. Big B. Forced fumble. Wow. Good proactive defense there by the Wolverines.
Woodside doing a good job coming back and making a big-time defensive play. And I think, Greg, now
you milk the clock now.
Sit on that ball.
You don't want to give Grassfield any more opportunities.
No, you don't.
Intermission.
You dodged the bullet. Here you see Woodside, like that old movie The Matrix, they dodged the bullet, Keanu Reeves style. Excellent defensive play. And right there you're going to see great awareness by the Wolverines to just fall on the ball.
Like the lightsaber was knocked down.
Getting up and trying to advance it.
Pinball machine.
Uh-oh.
Tyler. Out of bounds across the 50.
Danny Dotson said,
we see more action here the last few minutes in the entire game.
I told you, Danny Dotson is not one to be timid or passive when it comes to his play calling.
33 seconds left, 14-7 Woodside.
Coaches.
And Dotson's been very conservative since taking over this team since '99 from Bob Schmidt, former Woodside and Denby coach respectively. Interception.
Wow.
Interception. We talked about it. That's why you milk the clock.
Wow.
Excellent catch by Jalen Foskey.
Wow.
And he found the key. Nate, we talked about it. Milk the clock.
Jalen Foskey coming in. They see the pressure is put on Tyler. He just throws it up there. Nobody in that vicinity. And Foskey does a great job picking it up, coming back. Almost is able to break free for a big-time run, but right there you see at the end.
But there are flags all over the place again.
Tackled by the Wolverines.
Really?
How many times can the Wolverines put themselves in danger?
But again, it's on Grassfield, so luckily there. Remember, we're the only ones who get to see the instant replay. Unlike college and NFL where they can see it, we're the only ones who can see it. Fans can't see it, officials can't see it, coaches can't see it. We see it. We get it right. All right, it's 14-7, 21 seconds. Of course, our programs have won communicator awards and several great awards over the years. For more, log on to nnpstv.com. It'll be add class to your life. And, of course, a shout-out to Paul Cummings and, of course, Ray Price, best 1-2 punch in production history of the school system and TV. Across the 30. Smart just milking the clock. A little arguing out there. Oh, my God, even the same players are arguing on the same team. And we've seen that, too, recently with Green Bay, I thought.
Green Bay and then Greg Hardy with the Cowboys. The less said about him,
you don't get Des Bryant riled up either.
I'm telling you.
I'm a huge Des Bryant fan, though. He's just very passionate, that's all.
See, I like Des Bryant. I think there's you can walk up to the line as long as you don't cross it.
No, he's cool.
And Des walks up to the line, but he doesn't cross it.
No, he's a pro. He wants to win. I mean, they can't win without Romo.
And you want people like that. You want people that are passionate about what they do.
You see the Cowboys, they can't close the deal without a good quarterback.
No, the quarterback.
You don't have a good quarterback or a good head coach, you're not going to win.
Quarterback is one of the most important positions in all of sport.
That's why Paterno sustained so long at Penn State. He always had Blackledge or a great quarterback, Fusina, leading his ways.
I mean, you
see Hackenberg now for Penn State.
Yep.
He still needs another year, in my opinion. He's still a little raw.
I think he's got a lot of potential, but like you said, he needs that seasoning. And
sometimes you need 4 years.
You can win with an average quarterback, Greg, but you can't be great without a great quarterback.
Goodness.
And there's a great mascot, the Wolverine,
Bears,
the camera. Watch out, camera people.
We do not want to get – I'm afraid of heights, and I don't want to see no bears either.
And we see the Wolverine putting up the Wolverine ears.
It's hunting season out here, I guess.
I got a question. Why are they letting this Wolverine walk out without a trainer, without a leash? That is not safe for the children. Muriel, get down there and stop that Wolverine. Muriel said, no, thank you.
14-7 and 8 Milton Comedy Hour continues. Pass right there. Incomplete. These are just dangerous plays. It's almost like they're doing the Daytona 500 with 7 seconds left.
Like both teams, not just Woodside, but
it's like they're experimenting now. Don't understand the logic, but these teams are in the postseason.
That's how important this game is, Greg. Like both teams are doing things that they normally would not do.
But you want to stay consistent to your routine. What got you here? Both teams are 7-3.
Yep. And this is a very important defensive possession for Woodside, because if they can stop Grassfield, they get the ball back first in the second half.
And that should milk the clock right there. But still, you got 3 seconds left. The hourglass is not
this has been the longest 30 seconds of a quarter I think we've seen in a while, Greg.
Grassfield has lost to Indian River.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of the first half of play.
There it is.
And also the Innsman River. So it is 14-7. Woodside will be back for a lot more, an intermission, a lot of fun at halftime. Stay tuned, folks.
Music and fine arts provide enriching experiences. They teach students that there can be more than one solution to a problem, more than one right answer. That mistakes are learning experiences and present an opportunity to be creative and flexible. The arts encourage persistence and dedication. They require sustained concentration, personal reflection involving critical analysis, and self-adjustment to reach desired goals. These are essential 21st century skills. Skills recognized as important to productive career and citizen success. Each student deserves and benefits from an arts-rich education.
Talk about the second half.
From majors are Raquan Cardinal, Miles, Jefferson Parker, and
Woodside's got a 14-7 lead. You want to play to win, not play to lose.
Right. Both teams out here trying their hardest to win, but you also have to stay composed. You have to not forget what got you to this point in the postseason. So it'll be interesting to see what adjustments both coaches make as we head into the half.
And stay focused. All right, it is 14-7 Woodside. Both these teams are 7-3, and enjoy the halftime.
gentlemen, once again for your halftime entertainment, the Woodside High School marching robbery.
Detail, action, hey! Hey! Detail, boys up!
You don't have to change just to fit in. You don't have to apologize for who you are. Just be yourself, and I promise people will enjoy it. Just be yourself. Be your real, imperfect, flawed, quirky, weird, beautiful, and magical person you are. Be yourself. Because everyone else is already taken. Just be you.
All right, back here at the start of the third quarter, it is Woodside 14, Grassfield 7 postseason 6A South competition. Greg Bicaveras, Nate Milton, our entire NNPS TV crew, 25th year of exclusive prep coverage. And Nate, you talked about it was kind of a random last couple minutes. You saw the injury there. Yep. Give us an injury update.
Yeah, and that was number 56 for the Grassfield Grizzlies, Joseph Hardy, a senior linebacker who was down and taken away by the ambulance. And like you said, Greg, that set up a series of events. You know, we had about 10 minutes with the delay while they were tending to the young man, and then both teams seemed to not know what to do when they got the ball back. We saw a turnover from Woodside, then we saw another turnover from Grassfield. We saw a lot of sloppy play and reckless play, to be quite frank. But at the end of the day, the score still remains 14 for the Woodside Wolverines, 7 for the visiting Grassfield Grizzlies.
And scoring recap.
Started off in the first quarter. An option run by quarterback Tyler put the first points up on the board, drawing first blood for the Wolverines. Grassfield responded with a TD pass from Justice Bigby to Ray C. Lucas. And Ray C. scored and brought the score 7-all as Grassfield tied it up. And then the last score that we've seen so far, a long touchdown pass, a long distance connection from Tyler to Jakari Lee. 14-7 is your score. The Woodside Wolverines, the home team, with the advantage, at least for right now.
12-minute quarters. They got second half about to start. Greg Bicaveras, Nate Milton. And again, congratulations to all the Newport News teams that made it this year. Some more deserving so, but of course, Heritage made it, and of course Denby, and of course now Woodside with the best record. Woodside.
Yep, and Woodside, you know, like we've talked about all year, Greg. When is it going to be the year for Woodside to make that step, make that leap in the postseason? It could be tonight. They've got a half to get by Grassfield, and we'll see if Danny Dotson and the Wolverines can take another step towards their goal.
I mean, they've won games in the postseason, but they're 3-8 overall. Grassfield's 3-6 overall in the postseason. About to start the third quarter. Grassfield in the white. Kicking off to the Wolverines. Will be going right to left on the TV dial. And nice run right there by the Wolverines to start things off across the 35.
Nice return by Tamir Walker, doing a good job of putting him in a different position, allowing your skilled players, allowing your players that can make impacts on the field an opportunity. And that's what we saw right there. Walker returning that kick for a great special teams return.
Mentioned Woodside's only 3 losses this year were to their South Carolina road trip, of course. They lost to Hampton 36-20 and Phoebus 41-34. But they've been very consistent, typical Danny Dotson team. Made the postseason last year, Grassfield 2 years ago. Woodside keeping it on the ground. Of course, they like the wing T, and Marty Osprey's team from Grassfield likes the 4-2-5.
And that wing T offense from Danny Dotson, the consistency that we've seen over the years running out of this set, whether it's, Billy Canitas, or whether it's the Davis boys, Mondo and McWell, or whether it's Aaron Evans,
or Willie Bell.
Willie Bell, yeah, we see the consistency, and now we're seeing it now with Tyre Tyler, a young man who I think is very good in this offense.
Nowhere there by the Wolverines, but still on his feet is Walker. Makes something out of nothing and chews up some clock.
Wow.
He's exhausted on that play. He's like, really? I just did that?
Wow, that was a real Harry Houdini act right there.
I think the officials might say his knee might have been down, but who knows? It was a penalty regardless on Woodside. All that for nothing.
All that for nothing, but you can't fault the effort.
No.
On that play.
A for effort.
And this is going to be the key thing, Greg. Both teams coming out of that halftime break. What adjustments do you make? What mistakes do you clean up? What wrinkles do you put in your offense to kind of get that advantage? Danny Dotson, we know how good a coach he is, and we know that Coach Osprey for Grassfield is a solid coach as well. We'll see if this chess match between these two coaches, who could come out with the better strategy.
And, of course, you are watching postseason football on Cox Cable 47 and Newport News, Verizon 517 and NNPSTV.com. Greg Bickaveris, Nate Milton, 11:07 left here in quarter number 3. Woodside with a 7-point lead. And the key is, what kind of adjustments did you make? You don't want to get too lackadaisical with the lead, and Grassfield's really got to be proactive here.
We'll see. Woodside with a crucial offensive series right now.
They played 5 years ago in the postseason, way back in 2010.
Wow. Speaking of way back, Greg, more mistakes by the Woodside Wolverines, moving deeper and deeper into the shadow of their own goalposts. That's not the way you want to go.
Wolverines at their own 7-yard line.
On the ground again for the Wolverines. At the 10:39 mark, see number 2, Tyler. He's been the workhorse of this team. He's been, him and Walker, the 1-2 punch, kind of like for Grassfield, Bigby, and Holloway.
Yeah, these two teams are so similar. They mirror each other so well, and you can't make the type of mistakes, though, that Woodside has been making. And, of course, folks, Sports Highlights is on NNPSTV.com. Don't forget the sports scene on 1650 a.m. each Wednesday from 12 to 1 p.m. And on TuneIn.com, type in WHKT in the search box to listen on your phone or computer.
10:14 left in the third quarter. It is 14-7 Woodside, respectively. And they've got the ball going right to left in the dark uniforms. Dangerous play, but complete. Good extra effort there by the Wolverines. And, of course, that was Dimitri Banks. Dimitri in Greek means Jimmy.
Well, Jimmy did a great job right there, picking up some positive yardage. The problem, Greg, is Woodside dug themselves such a deep hole going back all the way to their 7-yard line because of penalties that a great play like we just saw by Dimitri is not going to do much when it comes to moving those chains.
Kind of partial. That was my dad's name, Dimitri and Jimmy.
There you go.
Can't go wrong with that name. All right, 9:30 left here In quarter number 3, special teams punt by the Wolverines. Sloppy punt. Oh, boy. Now, remember, if something goes wrong, remember that punt right there. Weak punt.
And when you got two teams so evenly matched, Greg, the battle of field position is important. And right there, you give Grassfield great starting field position with, like we talked about all night, maybe the most dynamic, explosive weapon on the field, and that is one Grant Holloway.
Since Plaxico Burris. Yep. Sports highlights on nnpstv.com. Program we've done since February of '92. Great guests, Communicator Awards, Peninsula Sports Club Media Awards, so many great awards from Sports Highlights, the premier interview show as recognized by Channel 13 and 10 in the state. Across the 30 right there. And we'll see what Grassfield does here. Time is on their hands. They want to be methodical. There's no reason to rush or panic or try to experiment too much. You're getting closer to the Woodside red zone, down by 7 with 9 minutes in the third quarter left.
Yeah, right now we're seeing them take it slow and steady, running the ball up the middle with Shondale Joyner. You know, they've got that great weapon out there, Holloway, like we've mentioned all night, Greg. But to Woodside's credit, they've done a good job of not just letting him stay out there on man-to-man coverage. They've been shadowing him. They've been double-teaming him, hitting him with that bump-and-run coverage. So they're making things pretty difficult for a pretty good player in Grant Holloway.
Stay tuned for Nate's report card in the fourth quarter. Atmosphere. Outlet pass complete. To who else? The bread and butter man. It's great to see elite athletes at the high school level, folks. That's one right there. Grant Holloway, you're going to remember his name in college for sure. He can help UVA and Virginia Tech right now.
I will tell you what, Mike London would gladly trade a roster spot for one of his active players for Grant Holloway right now. Now.
And again, I'm not a big fan because most of these college kids do not go both ways. The high school players, that's really the only time you have to go offense and defense and even special teams. There you see our buddy again.
Wow, a personal foul.
Bill Dozier, oh yes he did.
Against Woodside, and that is not a popular call right now by the fans in attendance.
And we mentioned if that punt was going to be a turning point of the game, it could be. You need every little edge you can to take an advantage.
Well, not just the punt, but the penalties. You know, I don't know if that penalty was valid or not, but the penalty that put Woodside in a position where they had 2nd down and 40, you know, in the shadow of their own goalpost, that hurt them.
Don't forget, tweet us at Greg Bick and N8 Mosaic.
Thank you for following us, folks.
Run up the middle, nowhere there by Grassfield, respectively. Number 5, Shondale Joyner Jr. Sounds like a really neat boxing name. Remember, we had Sweet Pete Whitaker. We interviewed him not too far from Grassfield several years ago. On Sports Highlights, Ray Price and I went down there, interviewed Sweet Pete right around the corner from Grassfield High School. Really neat interviewing Sweet Pete and Bruce Smith over the years. Our signature guest was Serena Williams we've had on Sports Highlights.
You can make the argument, Greg, that Sweet Pea Whitaker is the most dominant athlete to come from this area. You know, boxing Hall of Famer, a legendary figure in that sport, and, just a great athlete.
And good defense there, hitting the quarterback. Getting
a little chippy.
Getting Bigby with it.
Getting Bigby with it. That's one of the lost Will Smith tracks. But, yeah, that's a big-time step up and statement from Woodside right there, because Grassfield was starting to get a little groove going, and Woodside went in, pressured the quarterback, finally brought him down.
And this is where the kicking game comes in so handy. You have good special teams. The question is you don't get down to the red zone that often either, and you only got 6:40 left in the third quarter. This clock is moving. And with again, flags all over the place.
Another costly penalty. But the thing when you talk about a kicking game, Greg, unfortunately, most high schools don't have the luxury of having that automatic
We haven't seen it. We have not seen it.
Like, most high schools don't have that.
More of a punting game than kicking. It's like we haven't seen many dominant passing quarterbacks. Curry, Iverson, Vick,
I think
Brooks, those four.
Like, in terms of kickers, in this area, you talk about Michael Houston or Richard Harr from Minchville back in the early 90s. But other than that, I can't think of.
Schrader, who played for Warg as a punter.
Yep.
Went to Maryland. Stream pass complete. Who else? The bread and butter man.
Wow.
Put it in his hands. The dice is going to roll, folks.
Wow.
An elite player on the airwaves of NNPS TV right there.
Holloway.
Number 15, Grant Holloway.
Great job by Holloway, Greg, but you also got to give part of that credit to Woodside for making so many penalties.
And the line, too.
Time and time again.
Great line play there, too. And, of course, giving him a breather to catch his breath was smart by Marty Osprey and the Grassfield Grizzlies squad. Again, they played Oscar Smith last week, 28-13, lost. But that was a good tune-up for Woodside.
And I think that, Woodside, we talked about it early on, Greg. Woodside is coming in on a 2-game win streak. They beat Heritage and they beat Kickingham. They've got the momentum going, whereas the Grizzlies are coming in off of 2 losses. And so I've been surprised and impressed with the way Grassfield has come out and played tonight.
Marty Osprey, head coach of the only coach in the 9-year history of Grassfield, new school in Chesapeake. You talk about Woodside and Heritage. Both in their 20th year of scholastic, academics, athletics, and activities.
Some definite parallels between the Grassfield Grizzlies and the Woodside Wolverines. Like, I could see Marty Osprey being Danny Dotson 10 years ago.
And this game is even. I mean, this game has been an even type of game, even though the scoreboard right now says 14-7. It's anybody's ball game. Evenly matched teams coming into tonight's ball game. 5:56 left in the third quarter. First and goal at the 4. For the Grizzlies. They're calling it a TD. And it is.
Justice Pinkman to number 23, Schwan Goodman, and Goodman goes
Goodman again.
Shazwan Goodman. He said, my name's not Goodman, it's Goodman, because that's a touchdown on the board. And it's a very, very critical score for the Grassfield Grizzlies.
So important coming out of the locker room. How are you going to react to being idle?
Right. Coming out of the locker room, not only were they had the time to think about things, but they were also probably had Joseph Hardy, their teammate, that had gone down on their minds.
We'll see. The referee, Bill Dozier, says penalty on Grassfield, so it's 14-13 at the moment. Of course, this is one and done, like basketball, like the NCAA tournament. That's what's so good about postseason sports. It's one and done.
One and done, win or go home. And I see a lot of toughness. We had the chance to talk to Coach Osprey before the game, and one of the things he said about his team that he liked was the tenacity.
Right.
And we saw that right there by the Grassfield Grizzlies.
And you need a workhorse, and you got it in Holloway. And the extra point is up, and it's good. And you need to see more like soccer-level players kicking, and that could be part of the problem. That as good as your soccer teams are, they kick the ball down the field.
Yeah.
Get some soccer players, get them to kick for the football team.
And we've seen both in college and the pros how great a quality kicker can be. Sebastian Janikowski for Florida State and for the Raiders.
Been with the Raiders forever.
And anytime they got over the midfield mark, Janikowski's was a threat to score. So that changes the game if you've got a kicker you can depend on.
I mean, look at George Bland that kicked forever. Garo Upremian from the Dolphins.
So Morton Anderson with the Saints and the Falcons.
Mosley for the Redskins. I mean, all right, don't forget Telecom, great program, been around since the mid-'80s, under the leadership of Paul Cummings and Ray Price over the years. Great job for the students and juniors and seniors. Learn about audio, video, production, working with great staff and students, and get credit, and great partnerships with local colleges over at NNPS TV. And for more, log on to nnpstv.com. You got to watch the late hits, folks. Special teams are vulnerable. They're calling it Grassfield ball.
Wow.
And Grassfield has reacted a lot better than Woodside out of the locker room in the third quarter.
That is a crucial mistake.
Emotional tide.
For the Woodside Wolverines, Grassfield, like you mentioned, they're feeding off of that emotion. They've got added incentive. It wasn't enough that they wanted to win this game, but now, they had to watch their teammate Joseph Hardy being carted off the field. They've got a little extra momentum, a little extra incentive right here.
Kids are emotional.
And Woodside is making too many mistakes. The penalties that we saw on that first series, the fumbles, they got to tighten some things up. Let's take a look at the replay, folks.
Great logos by our crew.
There you see.
He slipped. And Grassfield Now, what if you're Coach Osprey, you want to just keep it on the ground and just be methodical. You got plenty of time in the third quarter. You came out and got a score. Why not try it again?
Yeah, the Woodside players slipped right there, and that's what caused the fumble. And hopefully if you're a Woodside Wolverines fan, they don't let this game slip away, Greg, because Woodside was in control, but now we're starting to see a tale of two halves. Grassfield's getting some momentum, and you don't want to see that, especially when they got a big freight train named Holloway coming at you.
And these two teams don't see each other that often. They've only played twice in 9 years. So it's Peninsula versus Southside at its finest, postseason football. Big B. Incomplete.
Wow, so close.
It was good defense there by the Wolverines, and somebody's got to step up here for Woodside.
That was quite a scare if you're a Wolverines fan, because that would have been a big score if they were able to connect.
The receiver almost caught up to the ball. The ball was almost overthrown.
I'm telling you, the ball was overthrown.
He was chugging.
Did a great job of catching up to it, and he almost caught it, though. I like the Wolverine fans, I think they were scared. It's like when you walk by a neighbor's house and they got the dog chained up and it's an invisible chain, so you don't know that the dog is on the chain, and he runs up to you, and you might jump back a little bit, but it's okay because he's on the chain. For the Woodside fans, it's okay because that ball missed just by an inch.
And Nate and his drama with his neighbors. Don't be blowing leaves on my side of the yard
all
either.
I'm saying, people, is put a chain on your dog that I can see, because it's not fair to me.
Yeah, don't walk the dog by my house at night. The lights are everywhere. 14-all, 4:50 left. In quarter number 3, brand new ball game. Should be an exciting fourth quarter coming up. Somebody's got to win. Somebody's got to lose. The season will be over for somebody tonight. We look forward to 2016 in football. And you'll see exciting quarterbacks coming back, especially the Heritage of Woodside.
Yeah, I think that, as much as I've talked about Tyler, he's only a junior, Greg.
It's going to be about a 41-yard field goal if he makes it. He's at the 24, 3rd and 4. Kick is up. Got the leg. It's good.
Wow.
41-yard field goal for Grassfield. They've gotten the lead. The dice rolled, and the Chesapeake School is up 17-14 with 4:17 left in this third quarter.
And what we were just saying, Greg, special teams, that can change the game. The kicking game, when you have a guy that can kick from that far out, it changes the complex of the game. And there you see 17-14, Grassfield with their first lead of the game.
That's something all 5 Newport News schools need to have number 1 on their list for next year, not just off-season conditioning and weight training, is kicking.
Find a kicking game.
Special teams.
That can
also,
change.
Frank Beamer, to his credit, was known for Virginia Tech.
And especially when we've seen the Newport News teams lose so many close games. Imagine if they had the chance to get 3 points or 6 extra points with a good kicking game.
This is not what you want to lose the game for and be remembered. Can you remember off-season, what did you lose? By a field goal. You don't want that to happen.
I think sometimes you'd rather get blown out than lose a close one that you should have won.
Grassfield, kind of a short kick. Woodside will do a fair catch.
And all the momentum is on the side of the Grizzlies now.
It seemed like that injury almost kind of psychologically gave them a boost for Grassfield. And of course, they drove, and think about rush hour traffic on a Friday. That's the reality on a yellow cheese box to go from the south side to the peninsula. You work all day, go to school all day, and it's going to take you a half to get adjusted.
That would get me ready to hit somebody on the football field, going through rush hour traffic in Newport News, coming to Todd Stadium, and they see Danny Dotson.
Going 10 miles per hour.
Right. And Dotson got the calm, stoic demeanor, knowing that he's got to get his Wolverines back into this thing.
Now, this is the time you want to experiment a little bit. Tyler goes out of bounds. Smart play. No reason to get hurt. But he's starting to get a little fatigued, too. You can just tell by the way he's leaning on his waist there a little bit. I mean, the fatigue is going to set in here in the fourth quarter.
Well, Tyler hadn't taken any big hits, Greg, but he's taken a lot of hits. And you see how big that defensive line is. Now you see the Grassfield sideline. It's that accumulation of damage, that accumulation of tackles. It's going to wear on you. And
compounding effect. Yep.
Tyler's not that big to begin with. He's only 5'9", and that may be stretching it a little bit, 170 pounds. So when you're taking that kind of abuse, that kind of punishment, it's going to wear on even the strongest guy.
Woodside going right to left in the dark uniforms. Tyler throws it. Incomplete. And you can feel the nerves, every incomplete, every drop pass, every missed opportunity. It's all about opportunity.
Opportunity, and Here's the thing, Greg. Sometimes when you realize your opportunity is slipping away, you try to grab it tighter instead of going back to what got you there in the first place. And we see right there, maybe they were pressing a little bit too much because that particular play looked like Tyler was a little tight. He didn't make that connection with his receiver. They can't afford to make too many mistakes like that against Grassfield.
Two evenly matched schools, an even ball game coming in tonight. It's 17-14. Grassfield here late in the third quarter with the lead on defense, trying to stop the wing T of Danny Dotson in the postseason. And just a little bit of yards there. And Dotson right now is trying to find a formula as Banks goes up the middle.
Banks picking up.
The banks are always closed during the holidays and the weekends.
Hey,
except on Saturday at noon at some
Danny
banks.
Dotson said, hey, man, I got direct deposit. This is there. You see him right there saying, what you mean my money's no good here? So great job by Banks up the middle to pick up the first down. The question I want to see, Greg, is what happened to Jakari Lee? Jakari Lee, who had a great catch for a touchdown.
Don't forget Walker, too.
Early on, and Walker. I think Grassfield's done a good job with some of their adjustments, and now we'll see if Woodside can respond with some adjustments and some wrinkles of their own.
And then we mentioned Walker, not much running room there. So far, Grass has dominated the field here in the third quarter.
I thought you were going to say grass beats wood. I was like, is this like a new version of paper, rock, scissors?
The grass is kind of fading here at Todd Stadium, and it's fading for Woodside here. They need a
grass is not always green on the other side of the fence.
Not exactly a golf course. Great analogy, Nate Milton. Cheerleaders enjoying themselves.
And, of course, we're in our 25th year of exclusive prep sports on NNPS TV and NNPSTV.com. Hampton Roads spells sports, NNPSTV.com.
There he is, the bread and butter man, number 15, Holloway. Again, not much there. Get a little extra effort there by the Wolverines. You know, this is when the defense needs to be stingy and the offense needs to convert on third downs.
And even though Woodside's not picking up huge gains, I like this because they're slowing down and they're not rushing things.
They still got the ball in their hands, which means you got a chance.
The only thing Woodside needs to be aware of is they've got to hold on to the ball when they're going down. They can't hold it out there like a loaf of bread all casually because that's where we see the fumbles. And there you see the score of the Grassfield Grizzlies with the 3-point advantage on the home team, Woodside Wolverines. But Woodside is charging.
Thanks for all the great comments, too, folks, that you give us about our TV coverage. Great defense, big-time play by number 9. They didn't call 9-11, but Patrick Jones, PJ, to the rescue.
PJ2, Patrick Jones. You know, sometimes you got to dial 9 to get out. Patrick Jones dialed 9 to get in the backfield, that is. Great job by the Grassfield Grizzlies blowing up that play right there. And then it looked like Woodside was working on a nice little option play, and Patrick Jones sniffed that out and was able to penetrate and bring down the quarterback.
1:40 left. 4th and 7 for Dotson's squad punting. Who knows? They might try a fake. You never know. There's no tomorrow for either team.
The mad scientist, Danny Dotson.
Unless you win. Good punt right there by the Wolverines. And it rolls before Wolverines stop it. So you got 1:20 left in the third quarter, respectively. Greg Bickaveris, Nate Milton. We're here at Todd Stadium in Newport News. We played 2 hours so far with all the delays and intermissions and penalties and injuries and halftimes. Our 5th game of the year, our 25th season. Glad you're with us on Cox Cable 47, 517 and NPSTV.com. Folks, don't take for granted for what we do. A lot of TV programs come and go that do high school sports. We sustain. Grassfield going left, right. See what they're going to do the last 120. Because both teams didn't really handle it well before intermission. He just throws out of bounds and Bigby. Smart play. That play was going nowhere. And here's my thing. Don't experiment the last couple minutes when you got the lead. Go into the fourth quarter. You got a 3-point lead. You're on the road. It's the postseason. You win, you advance. You lose, you stay home.
There's a little indecisiveness right there by Bigby, who I felt had a man open had he committed to the throw early on, but a great job flushing him out of the pocket by the Wolverines. And you're 17-14, the Grizzlies on top. And, Greg, you know, you talk about primetime moments, big-time moments, this is what we're getting to right now. It's not the fourth quarter yet, but it's getting close. Time is not of the essence for the Woodside Wolverines. If they're going to win this thing and take advantage of the opportunity we talked about at the beginning of the game, they got to make some plays.
Second down for Grassfield. You don't want to experiment, like you said, and get Woodside an opportunity. And decent roll right there by number 23, respectively. Shawan Goodman, he's been the highlight, him and Holloway.
Yeah, Goodman and Holloway, the 1-2 punch. Holloway's been pretty quiet, though, for most of the second half.
Bigby's been the steady hand to get him the ball.
Yeah, Bigby's been getting the ball to Goodman.
Nothing fancy, just steady.
No, nothing fancy. Almost lulls you to sleep. Just
blue collar.
It's like a quiet ocean with some whale sounds in it, Greg, just lulling you to sleep. But instead of a whale, it's a grizzly bear in the middle of the ocean.
And Nate and I don't like bears, or big dogs for that matter.
Or big dogs with invisible chains.
I can handle the Shih Tzu, that's about it. Grassfield up the middle, smart, pound and ground, they go. Goodman again.
Goodman with a nice.
18 seconds left in this third quarter, and Grassfield leads it by 3. What will Woodside do in the fourth quarter? Batman, what will he do? The villains are awaiting as the third quarter comes to an end. We got one more quarter left in postseason football. Woodside season's on the line, folks. Stay tuned. Lock it right here on Cox Cable 47 517 and nnpstv.com. The scoreboard says it all. Grassfield up by 3. We'll return after these messages. Stay tuned.
Aviation Academy offers a variety of hands-on experiences. Chooses select students to create a great small community. Is located at an airport for applied learning. And is career-oriented for students who are going to pursue aviation in their future. For more information, please contact the Aviation Academy at 757-886-2745.
And we are back. What a joy it has been. As joy and pain. Somebody's going to win, somebody's going to lose. And, of course, like we just said, the key right there was Grassfield came out energized. Woodside was flat in the third quarter.
Yeah, Grassfield was energized and focused. Woodside is not looking like the Woodside team we saw in the first half or even the Woodside team we saw against Heritage.
Fourth quarter, bad snap. Wolverines will get in good field position. What do Woodside have to do here in the fourth quarter?
Woodside has to stick with the things that brought them to the dance, Greg. You know, they're only down by 3 points. They're at home. They've got the crowd behind them. They don't have to go out here and do anything reckless. They don't have to turn into the greatest show on turf for the St. Louis Rams all of a sudden. They just play that fundamental Danny Dotson football, and I think they can find a way to pull this game out.
You brought up a good point of the game. It's like you don't have the kicking game. It's a lot of pressure relying on 6 points every time to score.
Yeah, the kicking game changes so many things.
Man, it sure does.
You don't have to worry. You know, even if you don't score, if you got somebody like a Sebastian Janikowski or Adam Vinatieri for the Colts for so many years, it's like, okay, we might not be able to get 6 or 7 here, but we can get 3, and that's still pretty good.
Or a great punter like Ray Guy.
Yep.
Fumble. Oh, boy. We'll see what the call is.
Always an adventure.
And this is not the time you want to get sloppy, Nate. Grassfield up by 3, 17-14. Stay tuned for Nate's report card. Both of us will give an atmosphere grade tonight. And, of course, the crew list for our great crew that works behind the scenes.
You talk about that focus, Greg, that Grassfield came out with. Woodside's been the opposite. You know, going back to that opening drive in the second half when they got to a 2nd and 20 and longer because they made so many penalties. They made so many mistakes, the fumbles, the turnovers. You can't do that and expect to win in the postseason.
You don't want to be shaky now. Good roll right there. And a great spin move. Looks like it's a fumble. Oh, Grassfield's got it.
Wow.
Walker drops it. We talk about staying focused and being buttoned up. Grassfield has been that in the second half.
Wow, Grassfield has been focused.
That came out of nowhere, Nate.
Woodside, on the other hand, has been loosey-goosey. You can't do that and expect to win. And I know that, Danny Dotson is somebody that preaches that consistency, preaches that discipline, preaches doing the little things right each and every time. That he's not going to accept that.
But again, Nate, what have we said about Woodside in the postseason? The bottom line is they're 3-8.
They're 3-8, and they've got an opportunity right here to do so many things with the having the home field, having that crowd behind you. Unfortunately, they've made so many self-inflicted wounds right now, so many self-made mistakes that they're gonna have a hard time getting back into this.
I still can't get over Grassfield sweatpant-like pants. It's almost like they have a casual approach,
I mean, it is Casual Friday, Greg.
It is. That's a good one, Nate. Of course, Wednesday and Friday, have been our great replay nights. And of course, Chris James shows them throughout the year. She's saying, Greg, I got to have programming. I say, you know what? Talk to our buddy, Mr. Price. Hey, we've done 5 games. This year it's been great. No drama. Best crew around. We'll give them the credit here in a few minutes. And Grassfield milking the clock. Woodside's got to be proactive and force a turnover or do something, get a big play. Your season's on the line, folks. You're playing at home. You don't get many home postseason games. Especially the way the VHSL's got it now, or pretty much anybody can make it, even you and I, Nate.
I think if you and I had one more win this season, Greg, we'd be in the playoffs.
And we didn't win any games. We're undefeated up here in the booth. It's like, okay, you win, you're in the postseason.
I don't know if we have enough eligibility left, though.
We're still young.
I'm only running that ball if I can get Sam Price to block for me, though.
Smart play by Big B. And this is, again, what I've been saying all along about the Southside schools. The Virginia Beach schools are excellent. You got Oscar Smith and Lake Taylor are like the old Hampton and Phoebus. The 2 best schools in the Southside or the Peninsula are Oscar Smith and Lake Taylor.
And here's the thing, Greg. We talk about Woodside, and what's the one thing that Danny Dotson was telling us about this season? We've had issues closing out games.
Right.
And the last couple of weeks, they've done a good job closing out games.
Beating Kickoff and Heritage.
Tonight, those old problems seem to be coming back to haunt them.
And you got to spice it up here in the fourth quarter. You got time. Don't panic. But this might be the biggest series coming up for Woodside's season right here with less than 9.5 left. They're going to have to go pretty much over 90 yards to get to pay dirt.
Yeah,
pressure starting them out.
The pressure is there, but, pressure is what shows the character of a team. Like you said, they're only down by 3 points. They're at home. They've got a chance. They just need to execute. And, of course, folks, others may try to duplicate. There you see the fans out there. Others try to duplicate and imitate. But the public counts on NNPS TV for the best in sports television. And we are the #1 channel in Newport News and in Greater Hampton Roads. We are NNPS TV and NNPSTV.com.
Fans right there smiling. They're saying they're glad they're not out there playing tonight. They're just watching. Sam Price doing security up here. Interception. We said that was the biggest series of the game. And who responds? The team from Chesapeake.
Wow.
And again, I go to it all season long. When you're more primarily a running team, stick to what you got there.
Let's take a look here at the replay. Now, this doesn't mean the game is over, Greg. There's still time. But right there, that's a crucial mistake right there. Who was he throwing to? Underthrew his man, and the only person that was in the area was a Grizzly player, and the Grizzlies come up with a big play.
Will it be crucial if you figure if Grassfield gets a touchdown, it'll probably pretty much be checkmate. Because there just hasn't been a whole lot of scoring tonight.
Yeah, if Grassfield can score, it could be over. But now, again,
a field goal won't hurt them.
To Woodside's credit, the defense has played pretty well tonight. Like, for having a player like Grant Holloway, to have him be this quiet up to this point, Woodside's defense, you got to give them a lot of credit. Can they step up for one more series?
Let's set the table. We're in 6A South postseason at Todd Stadium in Newport News. Greg Bickaveris, Nate Milton, and, of course, our wonderful executive producer, Menchville graduate, doing a great job like always, academics, athletics, and activities, is Michelle Price. And Michelle and Elijah are here at the game. Elijah keeps me on my toes, I'll tell you, folks.
You know Elijah wasn't going to miss this game.
No.
He probably had his own microphone waiting to call it.
Elijah's big brother's up in the booth with Sammy Price. And it just seems like Grassfield wants it more. The coordinating producer, person who's really given us so many opportunities in TV with the program since 1992. Like I said, the best 1-2 punch in behind-the-scenes Peninsula TV history. Paul Cummings and Ray Price, who Paul tutored Ray to take over. He's done a great job. And, of course, the executive producer of Sports Highlights and Fusion Fitness, the producer of tonight's game. 8:35 left here in the fourth quarter. Grassfield going right to left on the TV dial in the white, red, and black. And you got to wonder, Woodside has got to do something. They got to do it fast. And what's happening is Grassfield's just going right up the middle, kind of like what Larry Zonka did in the Dolphins back in the 70s. Anyway, our director, Bill Barlow, since 1993. Wonderful job, very consistent, calling the shots as a director. CD, Carl Daniels, as well. Great job in assisting Mr. Price Monday through Friday, as well as here on the sporting events too. Nate will get to the students in just a few moments. We got to get to it because the clock just keeps on rolling on and on. We got less than 8 minutes left. Grassfield in control, 1st and 10. And what they're doing now is they're milking the clock, folks. They've got a 3-point lead. Osprey's team is stingy enough. They play teams like Oscar Smith. They're used to these pressure-packed situations because they hear it all off-season long. Oh, it's all about Oscar Smith. It's all about Oscar Smith. Well, let me just say this to you right here. This kid, number 15, who you're seeing for Grassfield, Holloway, is the best receiver since Plaxico Burris played for Green Run 20 years ago. Plaxico and Curry and Iverson and Vic, 4 of the best athletes the last 20 years. And Holloway's right up there with them. And they're milking the clock right now. Nate Milton, what does Woodside need to do?
Woodside has got to find some way to make a play happen. You know, this reminds me of a heavyweight fight. You know, there's a great documentary about Evander Holyfield and Mike Tyson that's out right now. And you see Holyfield training. A lot of his wins didn't happen because of flashy knockouts. It was because he put in the work, worked the body, and broken the other man down. And that's what we've seen tonight by Grassfield. They haven't exploded for 30 points. They've just been slow and methodical and been wearing Woodside down. Woodside, they're not
my favorite
down
boxer,
yet.
Larry Holmes.
Woodside, they're not out yet. They're rocked, Greg. They're up against the ropes, but they can swing back. I've seen Rocky before. They can come back and knock him out, but they have to start swinging right now.
Flags all over the place. Nate, how about the student crew list?
All right, let's get to our student crew doing a best job, the best in the business. They're doing some great work, folks. They bring the audio and video to you each and every week. We've got Janice Dale. We got D-Squared, Deion Davis. Summertime is over, but Summer Ely is still in the truck. Josh Stout. Eleanor, don't call me Rigby is stuck. Where in the world is Carmen Scott? Somebody call Big Ben Anderson. Brandon Marrero is on the crew tonight. Muriel Gamble up here in the booth with us, getting us to these good camera shots, getting our good sides up here. Stephanie Hot Pockets Bolito, and of course Hannah Pennant, who you saw earlier. Naya Kelly and Dimitri Waddell doing TD tonight. Great job by our student crew. They are, like I said, folks, they are great. They're the best in the business, in my opinion.
And of course, the firstborn Price, Sammy Price, up here in the booth.
Hey, I keep telling you guys, Sam Price Security, you can't put a price on safety, but Sam Price Security will keep people off your back.
Not kidding. We love Sammy up here.
Sam and Muriel. Between Sam and Muriel, we got a great crew.
We have fun, folks. Don't forget on Twitter.
On Twitter, you got @GregBick and @8MOZAIK @Nate Mosaic. Thank you for following us, folks. And Greg and I, we let you know when these games are coming on, and you tune in every week.
And we appreciate the feedback. All right. Big 3-point opportunity for Grassfield, 4th and 9.
And this is where having that good kicker comes in handy,
And
Greg.
it's up. The leg is good. Roll the dice. Woodside's going to need a touchdown to tie it. A field goal won't work. But good opportunity again for Woodside for keeping them to just 3 points.
Yeah, it's like the old I got good news and bad news for you, Greg.
Yeah.
The good news is Woodside stopped them from getting a touchdown. The bad news is they've got a kicker that just put the score up, to 6 points. So now you have to score.
And the worst bad news, you only got 5:28 left.
So this is where we see what Woodside is made of, because Danny Dotson, like we said, great coach. This is a team full of good kids out here. We'll see, do they have what it takes to get off the canvas?
And you're watching postseason football on Cox Cable 47 and Newport News, 517 and nnpstv.com. This is postseason football, something we're not that used to in Newport News. Great 1-2 punch of Bill and Carl as well.
Yeah, Bill Barlow, of course. Not only is Bill Barlow doing big things for so many years here. I love Bill Barlow, but he's also my personal agent besides the director. So anybody that deals with me, they know Bill Barlow is getting 10 to 15% of that cut. So we're gonna have to renegotiate some things around here.
Don't forget, we gotta be nice, Mr. Price. He's the one who
I need limousine
puts the
service
check in the mail.
from Ray Price. I need an extra slice of pizza.
And Woodside right now, they need to get some composure and get a hold of themselves. The Woodside Wolverines, and again, they have been the hallmark of Newport News as far as postseason football, not quite at Heritage's level from 15 years ago, but they've been the most consistent team in the postseason. You just look at Danny Dotson, folks, what he's done. His first year he was 2-8, then he went 0-10, 4-6. 2002 it started rolling. You see the band. Woodside went 8-2, 03, 6-4, 04, 8-3, 3 winning records in a row. And in 6 he went 7-3 after going 3-7 in 05. And then 7 he went 5-6, 8, 6-5, 9 he went 11-2, 10 he went 9-3, 11, 10-1, 12, 5-5, 13, 6-5, 14, 7-4, and of course this year he's 7-3 currently.
You talk about a comparison between Heritage and Woodside. I think Heritage is like the Beatles, Greg. They had a great peak, but they only were around for a few years. Woodside is the Rolling Stones. They might not have had as high a peak as the Beatles, but they're still putting out good music in 2015 to this day. And Danny Dotson probably can dance a little bit like Mick Jagger.
And Flo Rida.
I don't know if Danny can dance like Flo Rida.
20-14, 4:47 left. Dotson wears the shorts like Nate said in the fall. Of course, happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Happy holidays to everyone. Thanks for making it's all part of the crew and the game and the content, but it's up to the fans to watch, and we appreciate it. Pretty much no matter where we go, Nate, we run into somebody who says, I've seen your stuff.
Yeah,
it's nice when people tell you that rather than you tell them that.
And especially, to our men and women in uniform. Shout out to our men and women all over the world that can watch this on the internet, nnpstv.com. Thank you for your service, because it allows us, the freedom to come out here and do what we love, and that's talking about sports and bringing these exciting games to you folks.
In my opinion, it should be Military Day every day.
Yes.
Not just on Veterans Day. Nowhere, no dice.
Wow.
Nate's not ready for the song yet.
Not ready. We're not singing yet.
We're not singing yet. But Nate, how about the atmosphere grade?
Oh, the atmosphere, Greg, I think
overall.
I wish it were a little more packed here. I
see Dotson there.
Especially on the Grassfield side. The Woodside band's been out there playing, but for a playoff game and a big playoff game, to me the crowd is not stepping up and supporting the team. It's very quiet, Greg. I think
C or D.
It is Friday the 13th, though, so
yeah,
maybe
that helps.
It's a little unlucky, so I'll give him a C. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt this
week. There you go.
So fortunately, you and I haven't had bad luck today.
Biggest third down of Woodside's season right now. Tyler, they connect. They connect to who else? You talked about him, Nate. Jakari Lee.
Wow, we were wondering where Jakari Lee was. He said,
the Witness Protection Program.
He just stepped out. He said, here I am. Great job, though, by Tyler to avoid the rush. They almost got to him again. You'll see right here, folks. Great pressure by the Grizzly Bears. And what do you do when you see 3 or 4 Grizzly Bears running at you? You say, get out of here, Grizzly Bear. And you throw it down. You can't have my picnic basket, Yogi. And he finds Jakari Lee. Lee does a great job picking up that first down. The Woodside Wolverines are in business.
And Sam Price says nobody will get his picnic basket.
He said, hey, boo-boo. How about that first down?
Nate Milton, the comedian, folks. Who needs a comedy club? Just listen to Nate Milton. All right. 20-14, the team from Chesapeake up by 6. 3:09 left. Nate, let's go and do the report card first for Grassfield. Neither team has played an A level.
No, neither team has played an A level, but sometimes in the postseason, you don't need that A level. You just need a passing grade. So on offense for the Grassfield Grizzlies, I think I'm going to give them a B because they've had a methodical attack. They haven't scored 30 points like we thought they were. First down for Woodside.
Defense.
For defense, they've done a really good job of containing the Wolverines. They forced some turnovers. I'm going to give defense a B.
Overall, a B, then?
Overall, a B. I think that this is not the best game Grassfield's played, but they're winning on the road.
We'll do Woodside's report card after this series. 3 minutes left. Pressure is mounting. 20-14. The backs are against the wall. Woodside's season's on the line. They need the big play. Walker.
And Greg, you and I know, how do you judge the character of somebody? It's what they do when they have adversity.
This is all you're going to remember here, the final 2:42.
What do you do when you have to step up and show what you're made of? And Woodside is doing that right here, folks. And, of course, Hampton Road Spell Sports at nnpstv.com. And that scoreboard, folks, that scoreboard.
Don't lie.
It doesn't lie. Numbers don't lie. You got to go
Isn't hers? And skedaddling like a track star. Who else? Don't be fighting
now. You got to keep your composure.
Yep.
You got to keep your composure.
You still got 2:18 left. Walker, first down for Woodside.
Let your play do the talking for you, young man.
You need a touchdown.
You need a touchdown.
You also need an extra point, too.
And then here's the thing. That was a great run, but you can't get up and start yakking. You got to keep your mouth shut.
Act like you've been there.
You act like you've been there, but also you've already had so many turnovers, so many penalties. You don't want to give yourself an opportunity to shoot yourself in the foot again.
Both teams are 7-3, but they'll take away any game for a win tonight.
Any way you
almost
can
like
get
Whippy says, I'll get a Hamburger Tuesday 4-1 for next week.
I'm glad they pay you for a hamburger.
They want to win tonight. And good extra effort there.
Wow.
Taking it on his back. Oh, late hitting.
The fight.
Aggressive late hitting. Walker. The 1-2 punch of Tyler and Walker. Will it be enough?
Grassfield's had a couple late hits tonight. Some of them have been called, some of them haven't.
Boy, the pressure is mounting here. Stay tuned. The final 2:04 left.
It's like what we're talking about with Des Bryant.
Heavyweight fight here tonight,
You want to come up to the line. You don't want to cross the line, though. And here we see.
And applaud for the extra effort.
Right. We thought they had him down. There you see a great job breaking through that first tackle. And then you think
right here is the extra effort
here.
right there, yep.
But he keeps on his feet. He keeps fighting. Great job by Walker and that Woodside Wolverine offense. They're out here fighting. They want to make this happen. 2 minutes left perhaps in their season. They're not going to go out lying on their backs, Greg. If they're going to lose, they're going to lose swinging.
We got Nate's Woodside report card in just a moment.
So we wondered when Rocky was going to come off the ropes and start swinging. Well, he's swinging now.
Where's Apollo Creed?
Where's Apollo Creed? That looks like that's going to be a great movie, by the way, the Apollo Creed, his son.
Yeah.
Rocky training him.
And the Penguin, remember Burgess Meredith?
You got to hit it, Rocky.
All right, 2:04 left in the fourth quarter, respectively. Greg Bickaveras, Nate Milton, glad you're with us for our 25th year of Prep Sports, postseason style at Todd Stadium. It's 20-14 Grassfield with Woodside in the ball, 1st and 10. No dice there. Nate, you're going to think they're going to have to maybe get something in the air here soon, because you can't have plays like that with less than 2 minutes.
And the thing with Woodside is, they're in good position now. The key,
you need a big play, though.
The keys for me are, A, you've got to make the big plays, and B, they can't afford any mistake, because a turnover, Greg, pretty much means the game is over.
C is the clock. It's 1:40 left. That's it. Folks, it's 1:35 and counting. Another big play coming up here. This play right here will go a long way in this game. Mark my words. Tyler throws it. I said it. Nope.
Wow.
Nope. It was obvious he was out of bounds.
By a foot, by a couple of feet. Wow.
good opportunity. I said it right there. That play was a signature play. Good call by Dotson.
Good call. They just ran out of real estate.
You got to experiment a little bit when you have the early downs.
Just ran out of real estate. Wow.
You don't need a real estate broker for that one.
Let's take a look. Take a look right here.
Dotson went for the dice. He rolled it with Tyler.
Great toss by Tyler. Puts it where only his receiver can get it. But unfortunately, like you see right there, just leads him out of the end zone.
He was way out. All right, Nathaniel Milton, 3rd and 8. Another big 3rd down conversion. What will happen? Timeout, Grassfield. I think it's a smart call to call a timeout. Get your composure, reset. Yeah. It's 20-14, 1:22 left. See the fans there standing on their feet. And the team from Chesapeake's got a little bit of an edge, but it's obviously you have to go for it on 4th down if you don't make it.
Woodside is coming. They've got the momentum. The crowd is finally alive for maybe the first time all night.
We got playoff football before college in the NFL.
If you win, you're in. If you lose, you go home. This 1 minute, 22 seconds left in your season.
And watch out TV networks because you know Nate Milton will tweet you.
I will tweet you. It doesn't matter who you are. I'll even tweet Donald Trump. I tweet presidential candidates. I tweet TV networks. I tweet singers. Missy Elliott, I'll tweet you.
Not the Kardashians, though.
No, not the Kardashians. I have my limits. I will not be tweeting the Kardashians.
Nate's favorite show, folks. 20-14. Fans right there enjoying themselves, the band, all part of the school spirit, the camaraderie. Hey, kids, get behind your school. This is a postseason golden opportunity that you're going to remember 20 years down the road. We made the playoffs. This is what you remember your high school career is in the postseason, if you're lucky enough to get to the postseason.
Either way, this is a memorable game, but of course the hometown fans want to see Woodside find a way to pull this out.
Big 3rd down here. Nowhere. Oh, boy, you got a 4th down coming up.
You got to go for it.
And the clock is ticking at 1:11. The ones are wild. 1-1-1. And we're in the 4th quarter.
Do the Wolverines,
Coach Milton, what do you do?
Do the Wolverines have one more trick left up their sleeve? I think for Woodside, what we saw, the big plays, the drive-saving plays, the touchdown-making plays have been connections between Tyler and Jakari Lee. I think you go play action, you find Jakari Lee. If he's covered, you send Walker out. One of those two playmakers has to step up big for your team right now because this is it. The season's on the line. If you don't get a 1st down here, it's over. Grassfield can just sit on the ball and win this thing.
It's almost like you bring your hot hand in a basketball game.
Go with who brought you to the dance.
And right now you got 4th quarter, 20-14. It's 4th and 10. You got to get a 1st down just to have any chance. You don't need to score a touchdown here, but you need a 1st down.
You need a first. If they don't score a touchdown, that's fine. You need a 1st down.
Their season's going to come down to this play here. Going to come down to this play right here.
10 yards for your season. That's what it's all about for Coach Dotson
here
and
it is,
Wolverines.
Folks. The biggest play of the 2015 season for Woodside about to unfold on Cox Cable 47-517 and NNPSTV.com. 4th and 10. The throw complete. They got it.
Wow.
1st down. Woodside responds big time. Not so fast, Grassfield.
Big time play by the Wolverines, staying alive.
Song Big Time, right?
Big Time. I don't care if you sing Big Time, you sing Staying Alive by the Bee Gees. They're still alive for at least 1 minute and 5 seconds, folks. Big time play by the Wolverines.
And they didn't need 6 minutes on that one either.
6 minutes, Dougie Fresh. Right
1st and goal to 7.
Tyler.
And he's going to run for the dirt. Out of bounds.
Woo!
Getting closer.
I tell you what, this is postseason football, Greg. This is the playoffs, and we're glad we can bring this to you, folks.
It doesn't matter what they do next week. If they win tonight, it'll be great.
It's like that old line from the Keanu Reeves movies, The Replacements. Gentlemen, this is it right here. This is the season. Pain heals, scars heal, chicks dig scars, but glory lasts forever. Let's put it on the line. We got to go out here and put the team on our back. Will they do it? We gonna see, folks.
We'll see right here. 1st and goal to 2 for Tyler and company in the dark uniforms. They get in it. 6 points for Woodside.
Wow.
They've tied it up. 2020 vision.
I tell you
20 all right
it's
here.
2020. I can see clearly now, Greg. The rain is gone. Great gutsy play call by Coach Dotson. Great execution by the Wolverines.
They converted on 4th down.
Straight up the gut. But yeah, you got to make this extra point.
Oh, the pressure is on. Whew. But at least you know maybe you can go in. But anyway, they want to get it right here.
This is playoff football, folks.
At its best. 20-0. And the kick is up. Oh, my God. It's no good. We might be going to overtime, Nathaniel.
Oh.
You've got to make – what did we say from the beginning of the game? Yours truly called it here. The number one thing besides quarterbacks is the kicking game.
Special teams aspect.
That was the difference between a win and a loss right there.
Here we see the replay. Wow.
That was the
There's
touchdown.
The touchdown. That's the score that tied the game up. But unfortunately, they did not convert on that field
And you
goal.
still got 43 seconds left for Grassfield.
And Grassfield with 43 seconds and arguably the most
That should have been a chip shot for most people.
The most dangerous man on the field.
And I'm not knocking the kid because the kid's tried, and of course he does the best he can. But the bottom line is you gotta convert.
You got to convert in that spot. Like
Gerald Levert converts.
Good news, bad news. The good news is you tied the game. Your season's still alive. The bad news is Grassfield's got a chance to score now.
Nate, how about the report card for Woodside?
Woo, for Woodside, you know what, Greg? I was going to give them C's across the board, but I think I'm going to give them that last drive was so gutsy. I want to give them I'll give them a B on defense. I'll give them a C on offense, but I'll give them a B overall because they showed a lot of tenacity tonight. And that last drive, win or lose, that last drive showed a lot of
That's what
heart.
they're going to be remembered for if they do lose that extra point, though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
That was a signature moment. You got so hard to get down there and score and have special teams do it. All right, decent kick right there. Grassfield will have 43 seconds to do something. Greg Picaveras, Nate Milton, glad you're with us. This is the kick right here, courtesy of our crew. And really, Nate, it was not even close. It was just to the left. Not even close.
That brings back flashbacks to any Florida State fan watching this game tonight. Wide left right there.
Wide left or wide right, whatever you want to call it. That was wide left.
Man.
And I said it, you need soccer-style kickers at the high school level.
I tell you what, this has been, win or lose, this has been one of the most memorable playoff games I've seen. Grassfield, Woodside, EC, all tied up at 20. The Grassfield Grizzlies, the Woodside Wolverines, a very alliterative matchup tonight, folks.
Oh, there he is, Holloway. He's loose. And a smart kid he is, went out of bounds. The coaches need to get out of the way, but that's a freight train coming right at him. That is the most explosive athlete you're going to see in a long time right there, folks, number 15. And he's at the Plaxico Burris level.
And here's the thing, Greg. We're going to see this replay of this catch by Holloway. Holloway didn't even have to beat you at this point. They just need about 15, 20, 30 more yards, and they're being in Rittenhauer's field goal range. There you see.
He's a signature athlete right there. That kid
the
is
power,
right there.
the speed.
And the thing is, they're at the 49 with 35 seconds left. Big B in trouble, throws it, incomplete. Whew. Boy, can you imagine overtime? Could you imagine
I
overtime?
hope we get to overtime. This is too good to last.
You're sweating up here. You're not even coaching. You're too busy doing the Nate Milton Comedian Hour.
Tell you what, I hope we get some extra football tonight.
20-all, 28 seconds. Thing is, they only got half the field to go. They can get a field goal, too, and seal this deal.
I think if they can get to about the 35, they'll be within Rittenhauer's range, right outside it. So that's the mark you need to look for if you're cheering for the Grassfield Grizzlies tonight.
If you was talking to Grassfield, would say use the force.
Use the force. We'll see if Woodside is on the dark side or on the light side tonight of the force. Can they be Jedis here in this fourth quarter?
Grassfield trying to do it right now. Big B up the middle. Incomplete. Dangerous play. Here's the thing. Throw to somebody where you got at least 2 or 3 receivers out there.
Woodside had
there was
an opportunity.
A lot of dark uniforms there.
Woodside could have picked that off. They
taking it back.
Wow.
All right, 20-all, 23 seconds left. It's 20-all here in postseason football. 6A South competition. Greg Bicamaris, Nate Milton, glad you're with us. Great audio and video by our crew. Don't take it for granted. Not many people can do it like we do.
And most colleges don't even have the broadcasting that we have here. So shout out to the students.
We've done
a lot of staff here.
Right.
It's a great presentation. It's a great game, and we're glad we can bring this to you this week.
A lot of fun. We get it done. All right, 23 seconds left. 3rd and 10. Flags all over the place. This game hasn't been the prettiest game.
Hadn't been the prettiest game, but let's just say to Greg, this game hadn't been the prettiest, but it's got a lot of personality. It's got a lot of personality, more flags on the field.
Laundry on the field. Hey, pick up your laundry.
This is what this season is all about, folks. You work so hard to get to this point, and you're savoring every second, every minute of this thing. We'll see. Woodside, can they come up with yet another big play on defense to stymie this Grassfield offense and force overtime?
We shall see. $20-all, 23 seconds. Will it go to overtime or will it end in the fourth quarter during regulation? Stay tuned, folks. The suspense continues. Big B on 3rd down. Throws it. Incomplete. Whew. Boy, oh boy, can you imagine the palms sweating in the overtime if it goes there?
Man, good.
Because every play is a signature play.
I tell you what, Greg, I don't know what's got my pulse rate up more, walking up these steps at Todd Stadium or this game in this fourth quarter. It's been back and forth, and that was a great defensive stand by the Wolverines to keep their hopes alive.
You notice the stands on the other side are not as big?
No, they're not as high.
I mean, look at those. Those are easy to get up of. The ones here, you're going to be like an Alaska mountain.
I feel like we're going back to Rocky. I feel like Rocky when he's in Russia running up the mountain.
Yeah, look at the other side. It's easy to walk up those stairs. Here, it's like you have to be an Olympic athlete to get up here. My goodness, where's the elevator when you need it? 20-all. Maybe we can get Mr. Price to do the games from the other side next year. Anyway, punt. Nice roll. Still rolling. Knocking players down. Oh, my goodness.
What are you doing? Whoa.
I think they're going to call it right there at the 20. But, good opportunity for Grassfield being proactive.
I tell you what, I don't know what Woodside was thinking on special teams right there.
I mean, you saw that, remember a few weeks ago, that debacle of the Miami-Duke game.
Yes.
The guy was down, and the refs got suspended for bad play calling.
Woodside right there. Greg, like we've said all game, sometimes those lapses in concentration can cost you, and Woodside almost had a big lapse in concentration right there.
We're at the 2-hour, 37-minute mark. Here it is again. Oh, wow. My goodness. Here it is.
And you see right there.
Right. Yep, it touched him.
Like what,
he collided.
You're not going to pick it up, leave the ball alone.
Oh, my goodness. You know what? That could have been a TD. Because guess what, folks?
Wow.
Grassfield kicks the field goal here. This game is over.
Mental
because
mistakes.
That's 2 special teams errors.
Mental mistakes.
The missed extra point in that. Stay out of the way, Nate. Stay out of the way. They should have stayed out of the way.
What
Not you personally.
You
they
always
stayed out of the way.
Stay out of the way.
Oh, my goodness, Nate.
Wow.
7 seconds left. 20-all. The drama's more like an Alfred Hitchcock movie. The kick is up. Looks like it's going to be short. It is.
Wow.
The drama. We said like an Alfred Hitchcock movie. It is.
Woodside lives to
This ain't Halloween.
Another day.
Sam Price is breakdancing up here.
Wow. This is unbelievable. The most automatic thing for Grassfield this game has been the kicker.
That would have been a tough kick.
Well, that just shows you pressure can get to anybody. Even a kicker like Ridnour, who we've seen has made a couple nice kicks tonight.
We haven't had an overtime game this year. All our games have been blowouts except for Heritage and Woodside.
There's a first time for everything, my friend.
This is postseason football. No blowout tonight. It's 20-all. 1 second left in regulation in the fourth quarter. We're at Todd Stadium in Newport News. We have played 2 hours and 40 minutes so far, and guess what? We're still going to be playing.
Let's see, does Danny Dotson have
Chris James get that DVD rolling?
Let's say, does Danny have an 80-yard play in the playbook?
I don't think so, not for this one. If they do, Nate, I'll buy you steak the rest of your life. They don't. We're going to overtime, folks. Overtime. Can you imagine your season is on the line in overtime? Now, easily, Woodside could have closed with the extra point. It would have been 21-20.
Yeah.
We would have been home already. Let's go to a break. It's 20-all. Overtime continues after these messages.
In the middle of the field.
It is 20-all. Nate Milton, we are doing something we haven't done all year long. We're going to overtime.
Yes, my friend. There you can see right there on your TV screen. No, Greg Bicaveras is not Hugh Downs, and I am not Barbara Walters, but it is 2020, my friends. We're going into overtime postseason. You got to be in it to win it, and the Wolverines and Grassfield both had chances to win in that fourth quarter, Greg, but both of them missed on a pair of kicks.
Right. Back to the extra point by Woodside. I mean, I think Grassfield should have gone for at least one play and then kicked it to give the player a little bit of breathing room and to relax a little bit.
Especially when you got a weapon like Holloway. Why not chuck it up there and see if he can come down with it for one time?
There you see Coach Marty Osprey right there. Coach of Grassfield and Chesapeake. Right off, not too far from the Cedar Road area over there. The great folks over in Greenbrier and Great Bridge really support this school. Only been around since 07. And of course, Grassfield of the year averaging 31 offense, giving up 21 on defense. Woodside averaging 33 on offense, giving up 23 on defense, and we're pretty much on cue. It's 20-all tonight as the band right there just trying to play some Michael Jackson and move along.
It is a thrilling night from the Grassfield High School Marching Band. And like you said, Greg, both teams kind of playing up to their defensive averages tonight. So whoever can.
And we're neutral. You and I are neutral. Even though we do Newport News games, we are neutral.
Absolutely.
And that's why we're professionals. And just like that graphic right there, we show both bands.
And then there's the thing. Like, I think that if Woodside can find a way to keep that momentum going, because Grassfield missing the kick, Woodside missing the kick. Woodside should have been eliminated 2 or 3 times in the fourth quarter, but they found a way to win. That touchdown showed so much guts, so much heart, so much grit and determination. I think, the pendulum has kind of swung back Woodside's way.
You see, all right, Bill Dozier right there, Nate, and both teams are going to get an opportunity to score.
Yeah, both teams will get an opportunity to score, and then, then it gets interesting. If the defense can step up and prevail and keep the other team from scoring on their first possession, then if they score the next time, they win. But if both teams score, that's where it gets interesting, folks, because it's going to be exciting. I think.
Now, the thing is, you want the ball first.
If I'm the team, in this situation where both teams get a chance with the ball in overtime, I like to be the team with the ball second, because that way I know what I've got to put up on the board.
It's like the old sudden death rules in the NFL. First team scores, game's over.
Right. It's not like that. Both teams get a chance to score. So it's like, if I see you put up a field goal, then okay, I know I've got to put up 3 points or better to keep this game going.
In college back in the day, they used to have ties.
Well, there are no ties
in NFL, you can still have ties if it goes past the first quarter.
Yeah. We've got a final. Heritage, the Hurricanes, one Newport News team out of the 3 is advancing, Greg.
They'll be probably on the road, but they got the win.
A 1-point win over Grafton. Heritage 35, Grafton 34. So let's see if Heritage has done it. Can Woodside advance to that next round as well?
Because Denby did.
I mean, Denby had a tough draw. But a good season by B2 and those kids.
And Grafton and Heritage both. Congratulations.
Yeah. We
We're
had
still
a chance
playing here.
Call that great Heritage Woodside game last time on NNPS TV and NNPSTV.com. The 2 baby schools in Newport News, quote unquote, doing big things in the postseason.
43-29 in that game. Woodside beat Heritage. Walker is just unbelievable tonight, folks. The extra effort by this kid, the mark of a champion.
Number 23, Demir Walker. Walker down to the Grassfield 1.
Wow.
second and goal.
That was a man-sized run by Walker right there.
Yeah, he is just running like there's no tomorrow. He is putting this team on his back, folks.
Walker had the tough touchdown run in the fourth quarter. We're seeing it again, running in between the tackles. Of course, we've seen the speed he has
and
on the
there's no
outside,
clock in the overtime either.
but he can
Another
run between
rule.
the tackles as well.
20-0. And you don't want to hold. You don't want to get down to the field goal opportunity either.
No, I
You
think
want to score here.
if they don't score on third down, Danny Dotson's going to go for it on fourth down. That's
so?
my prediction. Because I'd rather trust my skill players in Tyler and Walker than trust the kicking team.
Third down conversion. 6 points. Woodside strikes first in overtime.
Woodside drawing first blood. Back and forth they go. Powering it in on third down. And now it's going to be interesting, folks. What does Grassfield do?
Don't go to bed yet, folks.
Don't go to bed yet, folks. We still got a point after the deal.
Oh, boy,
with.
Nate. Here's the point after. Nate, the coach up in the booth, not too excited right now.
Everybody hold your breath for this.
Boy.
It's going to be a wild ride.
The kick is up and it's good. Good job. Redemption by the kicker.
Yes, redemption. He said, I heard you talking about me. I might have missed the first one, but I'm not going to miss this one. Now we'll see if Grassfield can top that.
And that's all that matters. Woodside's got the 7-point lead in overtime.
Chad Mitchell, good job by Chad Mitchell, 27-20. Woodside over Grassfield, as you see, Greg. And Woodside has the game on their plate. Can Grassfield and Coach Osprey respond? That's the question.
They're going to have to because there's no tomorrow. If they don't respond, the game and the season are over for Grassfield. See the G logo there, the red flag in the background.
You know, the theme of the night, Greg, has been good news, bad news. I got bad news for the Grizzlies. They're down in overtime, but the good news is they've got probably the best playmaker on the field on their side of the ball.
Right, they got Goodman, too.
And Holloway and Goodman. So they've got some weapons. Can they score against this tough
You think about it, they
Woodside
should at least be at the 15-yard line. This 10-yard line is almost like Pee Wee football. Make it a little bit more competitive.
You saying
folks.
you and I can score from the 10-yard line?
I think we can. Anyway,
Greg
good news
running
is
the
for
option.
Woodside, they're up 27-20. Coach Milton. There he is. They're not wasting any time at all. Goodness.
Woo. Hello.
I called it too, folks. Good man.
He said, it's not good, man. It's good, man. That's what I do.
They're not wasting any time. This is going to be interesting OT. But again, the extra point, that's going to be huge too. Their nerves are just shot right now.
Now, Greg, I know you're not a psychiatrist, but I think I need to be diagnosed for mood swings watching this game this last 5-10 minutes because I've been happy, I've been sad, I've been mad. I feel like Britney Spears back in 2008.
And
I don't know what's
TD.
going on with my life.
All right, 1 point deficit now.
Justice Bigby, the number 23, Juan Goodman.
Goodman makes it 27-26, but Nate, again, even though you're an extra point specialist or field goal specialist, you still have to convert. And right now, you said our nerves are shot up here in the booth.
I can't imagine these
Where's
kids.
Dr. Phil?
16, 17, 18-year-old kids out there on this field.
This is a serious, this is a game-changing extra point. Whew. Imagine an exam to go to college.
Lots of pressure.
It's good. We're continuing. The drama continues. And, folks, it is drama.
Man.
Hey, you're uncomfortable in the truck. We're up here in the booth sweating.
You mentioned Dr. Phil, Greg. I think Dr. Phil would say 27-27 on these overtimes. Sometimes, Greg, when you think you've done something, you got to go back and do it again and do it the right way. So we'll see if these boys can do things
When
the right
loving
way.
you is wrong on Oprah's network.
If loving this game is wrong, we don't want to be right.
Oh,
Buy
my
book,
goodness.
please.
27-all. There's no love
Man.
here. It's either you win or you go home. And if you lose, there really is nothing else that you could have said other than maybe the missed extra point. For Grassfield, they've been sustaining. They missed a field goal opportunity, too.
Yeah, 27-27, and you see the score in overtime.
You always want to try to win it in regulation.
Both teams had opportunities to win this game, and
Right.
there's plays that they would like to have back, but you can't take anything away from the heart and the fight that both teams have showed. We keep talking about Rocky.
Again, I'm not a big fan of the 10-yard line rule.
Yeah, that should have been changed. That was way too easy for both teams. It was kind of like a cakewalk.
At least put it at the 15.
But this
Woodside,
is a
the
heavyweight
aqua
fight
black and
out
white
here.
uniforms, coached by Danny Dotson since 1999, in their 20th year. Overall, like we put in the graphic, way back in the first quarter. Grassfield was 3-6 all-time in the postseason last year in 2013. Woodside 3-8. They lost to Oscar Smith last year, 52-7. Who cares? It's 2015 as the overtime continues. Remember, there's no clock in the overtime in high school football. Zeros are on the clock. Grassfield's chance now. They get it first. And no turnovers. There he is, Holloway. Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
Oh, my goodness. Where was the tackling right there, folks? They couldn't even tackle the kid.
Wow.
The best athlete on the south side right there, number
Holloway,
15.
6'2", 190 pounds.
Duplicate that kid.
Quick as a hiccup.
I mean, you couldn't even tackle him. Look at the tackling. Where was the tackling? Right, I'll tell you where. Right there. Two people could not touch him.
AC, and then they had a good beat on him, but he's just so strong, so powerful. And
This beat is hot.
There goes that man again, Holloway with another score.
And now the pressure's on Woodside. Grassfield can breathe a little bit easier now at 34-27. Dodson, you keep it on with Walker. He's the hot hand right now.
Yeah, I think he's, again, no need to panic right now. There's no time like
you have to pass because there's no clock.
Right, just work out of that wing tee, do what brought you to this dance. Walker's been successful. Keep going, folks. And of course, this Hampton Road Spell Sports, NNPSTV.com.
They will after tonight. They will after tonight.
Especially tonight, folks. Remember where you
saw
No
nibbler tonight.
Remember where you saw this. Remember who brought you this game. Cox 47 in Newport News, Verizon Fios 17, and of course, NNPSTV.com. From Boston to Boise, Fargo to Fresno, causing a panic all around this planet. We like the nature boy Ric Flair, so smooth and debonair, bringing you playoffs with footballs flying in the air. NNPSTV.com. Best game of the year. We bringing it to you folks on TV, on the internet, all around. Ask your friends about us. This is what it's all about, folks. Postseason football. You gotta love it. You gotta love it.
Woodside's chance now. Well said, Nate Milton. 34-27. They go for the hot hand, but a good defense there by Grassfield. And now this is where fatigue will play a factor.
Fatigue plays a factor. Also, Greg, this is, you didn't score on that first play. Don't panic. Don't stay within.
No clock is an issue.
The clock is an issue. You've really got 4 downs to get it in there in the end zone. So you know what you've got to put up.
Easier said than done up here. We're undefeated up here.
We're undefeated. There you see, man. It is a crucial game out here.
They're like, yeah, we're not playing. More power to you.
Tell you. You can feel the tension in the stadium tonight.
Oh, my goodness. Second down for Woodside. No dice again. Uh-oh. Woo. Third down, and Grassfield right now has got the number. Tilly and Hockman, I believe that is. 1-2 punch. Great job of those gentlemen.
You see that purple and teal.
Yeah.
Showing that support.
Oh, boy. You can feel the pressure. What a lot of fun, though. We're just having fun. Remember, folks, life is all about having fun. And this is a fun game regardless. Somebody's going to win or lose. It's how you play the game with sportsmanship, too. Remember that. There's no losers out here tonight. Tyler in trouble.
Get rid of it.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
Wow.
4th and deep. Nate Milton is going to come down to one play. I would have said just kept it with Walker the whole time. Why do you want to start experimenting?
Well, if you're going to throw a pass, you got to make it a quick pass. You got to make it a
decisive
play action, find the guy out there, and if you don't have the play, get rid of it. Here what we see is Tyler didn't get rid of the ball. He was trying to make something happen, holds on to the ball too long.
Should have done it to Jakari Lee. Lee was open. Look at Lee was holding his hands out.
Jakari Lee open, and instead of throwing the ball away or throwing the ball to Lee, he takes
and
the
it's
sack.
mental mistakes too. Nate, we said mental and physical fatigue.
Now they still got one play, Greg. They've got one play for their season, and Woodside has pulled themselves out of the fire more times than not tonight, but they got to do it. And folks, the #1 channel in Newport News and in Greater Hampton Roads is NNPS TV and NNPSTV.com. Danny Dodson, the mad scientist, the dean of Newport News coaches, with one play call that he's got a script up for his season. Can the Wolverines do it again? Can they come back off the ropes like Rocky 3 and Rocky 4? Or will they finally fall like Rocky Balboa?
You got the whole offseason to go fishing. There ain't no fish out in the cold.
Hey, you can sleep tomorrow. Tonight it's all about giving everything you have on that field.
Because this play, regardless of what you'll be said about, this will be talked about at the Thanksgiving table. Do you remember what you had to do?
I'm telling you.
Don't worry, kiddo. Good season, but.
And this is our holiday gift to you folks, this game tonight.
This is it. This is your holiday gift right now from Nate Milton, Greg Bicaveras, and Ray Price right here. 4th and 16. Tyler throws it. It's blocked. The game is over. The game is over.
Wow.
Grassfield from Chesapeake advances in the 6A South, 34-27. They blocked the pass. This game is over.
Wow.
Grassfield moves to 8-3. Woodside dips to 7-4. In overtime.
And there you see it, folks. The joy of victory and the agony of defeat, as the old saying goes. We said sports is the ultimate reality show, and we got one tonight. A great effort by Woodside, but in the end, mistakes just caught up to them, and they weren't able to
win. In those last two plays, the missed opportunity in the throw, and then the block pass right there. Those are the two plays you're going to remember.
Plays, and here we see the final
pass.
play of the game. Yep. After a valiant try by the Wolverines, Tyler trying to make something happen. One last play for the season. Throws it up there.
You didn't get a chance to throw it, just a block pass.
Bat it down.
The defense of Grassfield was proactive. Great sportsmanship regardless.
Yeah. And I hate to say it, Greg. I hate to do it. I don't want to do it, but we have to do
sing it, Nate.
We got to do it. And it is with a sad heart that we sing it out to the Woodside Wolverines. Turn out the lights, the party's over. They said it all, good things must end. Call it a night, the party's over. And tomorrow and next season, Woodside, we gonna do the same old thing again.
I think we've lost 20 pounds up here laughing tonight. Unbelievable,
Man, this is
great sportsmanship.
Postseason football is all about.
It is, but still, that's... Oh, you're going to remember this the rest of the year. Thanksgiving is this game tonight. All right, folks, Grassfield ends Woodside season 34-27 at Todd Stadium. They advance in 6A. Woodside will go home, and we'll come back after these messages.
What do you want to be when you grow up?
I want to be a scientist. I want to be a doctor. I want to be an engineer.
Our younger students have the right idea. Today's leading careers are involved in science, technology, engineering, and math. Newport News Public Schools has embarked on an aggressive STEM education initiative that prepares students to take full advantage of STEM opportunities in higher education and career fields. So, what do you want to be when you grow up?
Hi, my name is Barbara Smith, and I'm with the Newport News Public Schools Department of Transportation. At the bus stop, students should stand away from the road in an orderly fashion and always be mindful of other people's property. While on the school bus, students should always behave, keeping their hands, heads, and any other objects inside the bus so as not to distract the driver from keeping their eyes on the road. Motorists must stop for a school bus and remain stopped until the bus's lights are off and begins to move again. Here at Transportation, our number one objective is the safety of the children.
Back in the field, you see the victorious team from Chesapeake. Grassfield winning it, going to 8-3. They'll advance in the 6A postseason. Winning it on the road, never easy. You see the final right there. Great graphics by the crew. As Woodside will end their season at 7-4. Greg Bicaveras along with Nate Milton. Nate, what a great way to end our season, our 5th game of the year, postseason football. Both teams went out in style, but one team had a win.
That's what you want to see right there, folks. Win or lose, you want to see both teams go out there and play with heart, play with passion, play with determination. That's what postseason football is all about. Unfortunately for the Woodside Wolverines, they had some mental errors earlier, and it caught up to them later. That some missed special points, extra points on special teams, some fumbles here and there. That's always going to come back to bite you, especially when you're playing a team that's as tough as Grassfield. That came out and executed their game plan. But you got to tip your cap to Danny Dotson and the coaches and the players for Woodside. But, man, Grassfield advanced in one of the best games we've ever had the privilege to call.
Right. And I would say in 15 years when we did the state championship, of course. But you'll remember this game as Woodside could not sustain, and Grassfield wanted a little bit more, and their kicking game proved out to be big as well.
And this reminds me of an old saying my dad used to tell me, Greg, if you can't get something done right the first time, where are you going to find the time to do it over? And Woodside, they did some great things in the fourth quarter and in overtime, but unfortunately they set themselves up in a bad position by some of those turnovers and by some of those mistakes and mental errors. But it's a learning process. You know, we talked about having these opportunities. They don't come that often, getting a chance to host a home game here at Todd Stadium. So hopefully the kids can learn from this, and they'll come back ready to fight again next season. But you got to tip your cap to the Grassfield Grizzlies. Probably the only time I'm ever going to tip my cap to a Grizzly Bear, not named Yogi, but a great game by the Grizzlies, and we had a great game tonight. I can't even talk. I'm getting tongue-tied. My heart rate is up, man. This was awesome, folks.
It was a great contest, folks. We kept it under control, and we go down to the field and bid adieu to the 2015 season in the postseason as Grassfield winning on the road in 6A South competition. They'll advance. Woodside will go home at 7-4. Grassfield goes to 8-3 with a 7-point win over the Woodside Wolverines. So a great season by all behind the scenes, and credit to everybody working in the truck who got here early each and every game. All right, for Ray Price and Nate Milton, I'm Greg Bicaveras. Grassfield wins it, and we'll talk to you soon.